Are you nervous yet?
I'm so nervous.
Watch it just be you and me.
We'll get a couple in here. Let me refresh to make sure we're good to go. There's three of us. We'll wait a little bit and let some people join up.
Sure.
We got 4. Hey, that's a record. That's a channel record.
Yep. Every new person.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go wrong unless it goes backwards.
Yep. And they all left, and it's just you and I.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello, hello.
Oh, man. They're already starting with the dirty dishes stuff. That's not me, man. We traded accounts. I'm the
You
new
bought this
owner
one,
of the
right?
Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a paid account. I bought it off of Dirty Dishes. That wasn't me. They all really want me to change my name back, and I don't know why. I know it was there for a while, but I feel like it's old news now.
Yep. Hashtag dirty dishes. That's dirty.
So we'll wait a minute or two just to see if any more people come in, and then we'll start talking about it. And maybe they'll come in while we're talking about it. Maybe they won't.
And if not, we're just going to do some ASMR in the background, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll just stare at the same picture the whole time.
Yeah.
But I will say, since we have this picture up, I do kind of want to give props to this packaging because I was really surprised that they went all out on the packaging for the Attack of the Clones stuff, considering how many releases that we're getting for Attack of the Clones. Oh, yeah, I did have to watch them eventually. Is this generic Clone Trooper? I hope so. He better be here.
Well, they're all the same, so it's how do you know?
That's true. They're all generic. Unless you're like Captain Rex, which is the coolest clone in my opinion. I feel like that's not a hot take, though. Everybody likes Rex.
I was like Cody best.
Really? I mean, yeah. I mean, if you had to pick one, it's either going to be Cody or Rex for most people. One, because they're the most recognizable. But 2, because they do the coolest stuff out of all of them.
One, Rex wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, that's crazy, too. That Rex has such a pull, and I feel like there's a lot of people that like Captain Rex, and they've never seen Star Wars Rebels or the Clone Wars. They just think he looks cool.
Yeah.
And maybe they like the color blue. Who knows? And they're just attracted to that character because of that. I have a friend who bought the Rex hot toy, and he's never seen Clone Wars or Rebels. So he has no idea who he really is. He just thought he looked cool, which is fine. I mean, it's his money, you know, and I agree. He does look cool.
I mean, that's pretty much my scenario. I've never really seen... I mean, I still can't get through the Clone Wars, but I have the Rex hot toy right here.
It's funny. Kevin, who's in the Discord, he bought the Rex hot toy, and I was excited because he finally got him, because before he told me he wasn't getting Rex. And then he ended up tearing it down and making it a Commander Bly. So I was like, oh, man. I guess my dreams of you getting Rex are done for. I think he did that to 2 of them, actually. I think he tore up 2 of them. All right, well, we'll get started. Hopefully more people join. If not, whoever's here, thanks for being here. And you'll be able to look through this stuff with us and give us your opinion in the chat. So let's start with C-3PO. I think for me, regardless of whether it's an original trilogy figure or not, this is super exciting to me. I'm not a prequel hater. I know there's some people that will never be fans of the prequels. Some people are like, I just like Revenge of the Sith, but I love the prequels. Even though, in my opinion, Attack of the Clones is the weakest of the 3 of the prequels, I still love the movie. And this is the first time we're seeing a C-3PO from Hot Toys, and it's long overdue. Not only that, it's full die-cast, which is crazy because they've never done a full die-cast Star Wars figure. Is this something you're personally picking up, or are you going to pass on it?
You know, I'm tempted because, like you said, we've needed a C-3PO for so long. That's been like, people have been asking for that for years. And it's been such an odd standout to never have to. And then I think it is odd they're starting with this one as opposed to just a classic look. But I mean, it's like, it's cool. It's new, you know? I don't know. And even myself, who's, yeah, I agree, AOTC is my least of the prequel trilogy, but I'm still just like, oh man, I kind of need to see 3PO. It's not just the sideshow one.
Yeah. That's true. I've held the Sideshow one, and I think for the price and as a placeholder, considering we didn't know if we were getting C3P or not, I think it's fine.
Hmm.
But it's not at all going to compare to the Hot Toys version.
No, mine stands in like the back of my display, so he's definitely there, but I never like. I mean, what are you gonna do with the C3PO anyway? It's not like a very posable character anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look at him just standing at rest. Look at his arms. There's not much he does. He just kind of walks in a straight line.
Yep.
It looks like Generic is in here. What's up, man? Yes,
So then there's two clone troopers.
One of them's an imposter.
Yeah, I think they think you're the cop. Yeah.
I'm the cop. Maybe I am. All right, well let's look through more of these C3PO photos so we can kind of get a closer view. Okay, so I did call this. I know I try to call a lot of things, but I did call this, and I think a lot of other people thought this was going to be one of the accessories too, but I'm glad they did the battle droid head. For me, I don't know if I'll display him with it, but I do think it's cool to have it. I'm one of those people that if there is a deluxe, I'll buy the deluxe because I like that it comes with it, and I like to say that I have it. And sometimes if I'm feeling like it, I'll just throw it in the display and have it sitting with the figure. But I think this is insanely cool. And the fact that they actually gave it to us and didn't skimp on the little accessories that they could give C3PO, I think is awesome.
Yeah, because they could have easily just done the hands and been like, well, it's diecast, so
right,
enjoy
and
it as
called
it
it a
is.
day.
Yep.
He's going to get C3PO 100%. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm on the same plane as you. I think when I first saw this, I didn't even have to think twice. Would I have preferred an original trilogy release? Yes, I think a lot of us would have. But I don't want to take anything away from this figure by saying that because I think it looks great.
Well, and it gives way more opportunity that they could actually do the OT version as well.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling people in the Discord when everyone was first reacting to this release dropping, even when it was just the original teaser. Everyone was really upset that it's not the original trilogy, but think of what Hot Toys has done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Every chance that they can get to reskin or reuse a mold, they're going to do it. And
Absolutely.
if you think for 1 second, then they're not going to take this C3PO and the first chance they get to sell an original trilogy version, they're not going to do it, you'd be wrong. Like, they're absolutely going to reskin it. It's just a matter of time. When is that time? It's hard to say, because look at all the stuff that we have on the horizon right now. Just from yesterday. It's hard to say when it's going to come out, but it's going to come out, so I wouldn't lose faith. I wouldn't run and go buy the Sideshow one. If you would prefer a higher quality C3PO figure that you're willing to pay more for, I would not run out and go buy the Sideshow one. I would wait. If you're going to pass on this one, I would wait and see what Hot Toys puts out. Yes, that waiting also is waiting for the figure to release, which we know can be a while because of the delays and things like that. But it's going to be worth the wait, trust me. As someone who's handled the Sideshow one, if you're someone that prefers quality over quantity, I would wait for the Hot Toys version. I just want to look at a picture here with the lighting effects. Again, a lot of us will never use this because those little batteries suck. They suck big time, but I think the lighting effect looks great, and I think it's very convincing. And I think the eyes on this one are a bit more accurate than the Sideshow. I don't know what it was about the eyes, and it's not to say that they're bad, but I think they're just a little off on the Sideshow version.
Yeah, let me see. We got a little dusty.
It's not bad. Like the shape is fine. It's just there's something a little bit off about, to me, like the detailing under the eyes. The angle's a little off. But again,
right.
For the price, I say this all the time with the Sideshow stuff. For the price, I think they're priced accordingly. I don't.
Or they used to be, at least. Yeah.
They used to be, yeah, because that's true. Like the animated Clone Wars figures are kind of getting out of hand. I want to touch on what Clone Trooper said. He said he's on the fence about this version, but he's not sure that Hot Toy could release an OT version before the pre-orders for this version are filled. OT version would definitely take some sales from this one. This is a conversation that we've had a lot on Facebook and in the Discord group, and you are right that it is going to absolutely pull sales from this one. So Hot Toys is going to be strategic about it. They're not just going to say, here's your Attack of the Clones version, and then a month later they're going to drop the other one. It obviously would make more sense for them to kind of bleed this one as dry as they can and get as many sales out of it and then drop it. Now, the best point to make here too is Hot Toys is not afraid and never has been to release 2 of the same character at the same time. We saw it with the Mando. The deluxe Mando and the standard deluxe Beskar and the standard Beskar were still in stock when they announced the season 2 one. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, excuse me, there's no way that they're going to release another one," but they did. And I think that's a telling tale for what they're going to be doing moving forward. So probably with the original trilogy one, it's going to be a while because, again, not only did we get these Attack of the Clones releases that a lot of you have seen, and we're going to talk about that, Hot Toys posted this morning, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, about more figures that they're going to be releasing sooner than we probably thought. Because in my opinion, I thought that they were going to push them to Star Wars Celebration, but now I'm feeling like maybe we'll get a couple for Star Wars Celebration and maybe some before that. Let's see. Soloon, it's good to see you in here. It's definitely one of the best in my opinion. That was a really surprising one. I don't know about you, Will, but I personally would have never guessed that would have been one of the releases that we got for Attack of the Clones. My mind was obviously like Padme, Mace, Anakin, Obi-Wan, like the obvious ones. Mm-hmm. Was a clone of that caliber in your mind at all?
No. I mean, clones are always a possibility, so I guess I wasn't too surprised on that front, especially with what they've teased already with the sergeant or something, or squad leader? Forgive my ignorance. What I actually was excited to see was the battle droid, because I feel like that's a completely retool for Hot Toys as well. You know, they've again done the mold for the clone troopers, so that's easy.
Right.
But I think the battle droid's an exciting new one that also leads to more opportunities too. You know, that's something they could reskin easily into a bunch of other battle droids.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, and also the battle droid is going to be dangerous because of the price. Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, we shouldn't be happy about $190 for a figure that's so slender and it doesn't come with a lot. But it is surprising to see that price point considering where they've been going with pricing lately.
Yeah, because when's the last time we've seen something sub 200?
That's a good question. Maybe Attack of the Clones Yoda? Because I think he was 190, right?
Let me see.
Someone would have to go back and check for me, but I think he was 190, if I remember correctly. Harpo, I think this is in regards to what I was saying about the sideshow eye sockets, and that's exactly what I feel like. I think it's something that's off about him. Again, it's very nitpicky. I'll be honest with that. It's very nitpicky, but it's just for me, that was the first thing that drew my attention apart from how it felt.
And Yoda was 189, yeah.
189, okay. Yeah, so someone could correct us if we're wrong, but I do think that was probably the last Star Wars hot toy, at least, that was around that price.
Oh, the fingers don't articulate on that C-3PO? Sorry.
Looking at the photo, it doesn't look like it.
Interesting.
Clone Troopers. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this one does. Like, he's pretty mobile. He's got all the fingers. He can move freely.
That's a good question. I didn't actually look. Let me, let's see. Let me check on Sideshow. That'd be interesting if they didn't include that.
Yeah, because even the Iron Mans had no problem doing the articulated hands.
Yeah, exactly. And they come with a ton of hands. Let's see. Let me see if it mentions anything in the description about articulated fingers. Oh, shoot. I got to let Collecting Madness in. What's up, man? We can't hear you.
No, you're muted.
I forgot I muted it just in case you brought me in. But what's up, dude?
I got you. What's up, man? I'm glad you joined us. When you commented on that, Kevin bailed on me. Not technically bailed on me starting his new job, but I was like, now I got to get Collecting Madness in here.
Oh, so I was just second choice.
No, it would have been cool to have you both. But
yeah,
since you guys share an area, it would kind of be weird for you guys because you got to kind of have to sit next to each other and share a camera. But
yeah, I asked him if he was, and he said he was working. So
yeah, but that's all right. We got Collecting Madness, so that's all that matters.
Welcome.
So right now we're looking at the C-3PO. Someone asked a question about the fingers, whether they were articulated or not, and I'm checking on Sideshow to see because I'm not sure if they are. That'd be surprising if they weren't.
What, for this one? Does his
For
fingers
this
rotate?
one,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
not for the
don't
sideshow.
think they do. He
It
comes
doesn't
with
look like
multiple
they
hands.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says relaxed, one pair of relaxed hands, and 3 gesture hands, and a rifle holding right hand. I guess you got to include that for the blaster. That's interesting. For $330, that's surprising. And they've done it with the Iron Man figures. That's very surprising. Let's go through a few more C-3PO pictures, then we'll move on. Let's see here. Let me move this out of the way so we get a better view. I really love the weathering on this figure, though. I think, like, I know everybody, like we were saying earlier, everyone really wanted the original trilogy release, but the weathering just adds so much character to this figure. It's just more believable, you know?
Yeah, and you gotta think, like, Attack of the Clones, like, even though it's not the first time we see him, but it's the first adventure with him and R2 as well. Like, it just brings back such nostalgia every time you see it.
Exactly. Like, Will and I were kind of mentioning earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say I'm tempering my expectations that when he does arrive, it's not going to be this nice looking. You know how most Iron Man figures, they come out just a little less.
Yeah, it looks kind of like more screen printed on.
Yeah, and especially what we saw with the battle damaged Iron Man, people were kind of up in arms about that, not looking as great, especially on that prototype they released before the official release. So
yeah, and it's a good point that you make about the battle damage Mark 85. I don't have it yet, but I've seen photos and I've watched reviews of it, and it's like on the shoulder part, it's like the battle damage kind of stops and it doesn't line up like it should.
Yep.
So I'm not super happy about that. I'm excited to get the figure, and I know Chris, you just picked up the clean version, right, of the Mark 85.
Yeah, correct.
I know you just picked that up, and I asked Kevin, I'm like, why didn't you want the battle damage? Everybody wants the battle damage, and he told me that you kind of just wanted a definitive Mark 85 that can kind of go in any pose, and I do see what you mean by that, because most people, they're going to be doing the snap, let's be real, and it's kind of the same in everybody's display.
That's
so
exactly
probably smart of you.
That's exactly what I told him. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. I told him well, I kind of just stretched out, but I told him that I didn't want him because the snap is the main thing that people go to, and it's the pose everybody I see has him in, but I wanted to be able to post him up like he's blasting some people or without the helmet. And
yeah, that's how
I don't know. When I think of Iron Man, I see him more clean than anything.
Yeah, I went with the clean one as well, because I think, it's definitely the more definitive one between the two. You can just do so much more with it, because he doesn't look like he's dying every second.
Yeah, and there is a little bit of like scuffs here and there on him. When I got him in hand and saw it up close, he does have some scuffs. But
right, like every Iron Man. I will say this, like, if you don't have many Iron Man figures in your collection, the clean version is probably the way to go, because you're not going to want to limit yourself to just that one pose. I mean, of course, you could put him in other poses, but that's such an important moment in the films that most people that get the battle damage version, they're going to want to keep it in that pose. So I completely understand why most people would probably think that their money is better spent with the clean version. Me, I have quite a few Iron Man figures, and I don't need one to have in any special pose. I could just keep this one. I might not have him kneeling because everyone does that. I might just be weird and have him standing up and like create my own pose out of it. But that's why I'm going with the battle damage one. I have the Mark 43, I have the Mark 7 die cast, and I have the Mark 50. So I have enough to where I'm like, I can get this Mark 85 and have it dedicated to that one special moment, which is like, obviously, like, in my opinion, the biggest moment in Endgame. So because that's why I was like, I'm going to grab the Mark 85 battle damage. Plus I have the battle damage Thanos, so it just kind of made sense. I like how their bases are very similar, and it's kind of that same rock design, so I'm like, I'll make something work with those in my basement display that I just set up. So I did want to touch on this, since both of you guys have the Sideshow C-3PO. Did you guys have issues with the Sideshow C-3PO holding a blaster?
I have never tried. No.
Never tried.
I would never try either, but I will say, like,
I don't remember him holding one. Oh, Attack of the Clones.
And the attack, yeah, I think he's saying like if you were to want to do it with the Sideshow one, it's kind of difficult. Which
Yeah,
I
I
could
don't
see
think you
that. I mean,
could.
he has plastic fingers too, and we all like if you have General Grievous, you know how bad Sideshow's plastic fingers are. It's a nightmare.
Not just that, but those pistons on the arm don't really. I mean, they work, but not well enough to. I wouldn't trust it to keep doing it.
Nope.
I don't see with Hot Toys. So I only own one figure that has pistons like that, and it's the Battle Damage RoboCop. I have the 2-pack, and even though he's all plastic, those pistons are actually pretty well made. I will say though, like it's not something that you want to like get in the habit of moving around a lot, because I feel like if you pull it out too far, it might just that tube might just come out of the little piston. So that's probably not a good idea. But I'm hoping on the Hot Toys maybe they have to be some at least like the plunger on the inside has to be metal, right? If they're going full die cast on this figure, it has to be some sort of metal component in that piston. I would hope so, because obviously that's gonna determine the longevity of the figure, especially with those pistons.
Right. That's one thing people have been trying to figure out is like what components specifically are a die cast. And like with the Iron Man, a lot of people saying, I actually didn't know this until today, that the die cast is mostly in the legs. And just like the K2SO droid, the die cast is in the legs. So a lot of people are thinking it's mostly in his legs.
Is that the
he did.
Scout Sniper?
Yes, it is. This is the first thing I found.
That might not be a bad idea for the die cast one. If you put the droid head on, it might look pretty cool.
Could you imagine his personality though, coming up to you like C-3PO holding a gun?
Yeah, that's when he has the red eyes. That's when the red eyes come into play.
Right.
Yeah, Jacob, I think Will made a good point that, and it's very common. Sometimes we get lucky, but a lot of times we don't. Usually the prototype obviously looks better because they put their best work into it to show it off to get you to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be terrible? No. I think the weathering will still be nice, but obviously with the prototypes, the artist has taken his absolute time to prepare it for photos to get it ready for all of us to see. So I do agree that it's not going to be as good as we are seeing here, but I think it is still going to be convincing enough to where it's got a good effect to it, you know? Yeah, Eric, it was very tough for me when it comes to Thanos to decide if I wanted the clean or the battle damage one.
Thanos? Who's Thanos?
Yeah, who's Thanos? He's dead now.
Thanos.
I'm from Maryland. That's my accent. But yeah, with Thanos, it was very tough for me to decide because I love the look of the helmet, like the helmeted look, but like I couldn't buy the battle damage one and put the helmet on because I wanted to show off the blood on the face. So I really had to make a decision which one I wanted because I already have the Infinity War one. So I'm not going to buy 2 armored Thanoses.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think what sold me was not only the blood effects on the sculpt, but that like surprised look on his face when he realized he's done for.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's what sold it for me because that was the one sculpt that was different between releases because obviously they kept reusing those sculpts but for the other releases. So I was really happy to see that they switched it up, and that's like also a great moment when he realizes like, wow, I actually lost, because obviously everything for him is winning.
Right. See, so for me, it's opposite. Like Kevin had bought the Infinity War Thanos, and I think that's the one I'm going to end up getting again to put back in the collection. I feel that's the definitive one for me, just because that's when he won and took over and wiped out half the population. So.
Yeah, not only that, and he has that bent arm too. Like I wish they would have included that with the other ones because
absolutely.
Because obviously he has the silicone. Now Will's got me not wanting to say Thanos.
There you go. Oh, beautiful.
What was I saying? Oh, because it has that silicone skin over the arm, it was really smart of them to give you that pre-posed arm because that way you didn't have to worry about it like splitting over time. So now that's why like my battle damage Mark 85, he's kind of got his arm stuck out like that, and it's a little weird, but I just can't pose stuff over time in that position because I know what's going to happen. Even with the larger figures like that have thicker silicone skin. I just don't trust it. I've seen too many horror stories, and I don't trust it. So that's why I feel like they should have included the bent arm with all 3 of them. But It's over and done with now. It looks like you have a fan in here.
I see.
It is collecting.
Shout
madness.
out to him.
That's a Damien. That's my boy Damien. He said the three goats in one stream. Will's definitely a goat.
Shout out Damien.
I think you look more like a goat than me. My barber trimmed me too short. All right, so let's move on. I think we've looked at C-3PO long enough. Let's move on to another one that everybody's really excited for. I guess we're doing the clone pilot next. So as we were kind of briefly talking about earlier, this one is really crazy because it's such a surprising release. Like if you had a list of stuff in your head, or if you were talking with other people and saying like, hey, I think this is what's going to come out, or I think this is what's going to come out. I didn't see one person that said that this is going to come out, and this is one of the releases they were expecting. I think
it's random, but it's cool that they're doing something unexpected, because that's how you keep things exciting, right?
Right. It's very random. I think that's a good way to put it, and not in a bad way.
No.
The reason I say that is because the reason I say it's random is because obviously everyone was hoping for Padme and the 212th, and like we are all kind of gunning for the figures, and we got our Mace preview. We did get that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we saw C-3PO and R2 before, so that they weren't surprising at all because we knew they were coming. But this one, out of all of the releases that we got that we didn't know about, was the most surprising to me, because the battle droids have been teased multiple times. This one, we haven't seen it anywhere. We've obviously seen the mold for the armor underneath, but they kind of thought out of the box here. And they also, a huge plus for me is they gave us the Phase 2 helmet, because I'm a big Phase 2 fan. Phase 1, I don't dislike it, but Phase 2 is like elite to me. I just love the look of Phase 2. And for me, I always say like it's the best representation of like a transition from the clones to a stormtrooper. Right. Just the look, the shape of the helmet, the look of the helmet. I think it's a perfect representation of the story and how it played out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now the Phase 1 is nostalgic because of Attack of the Clones and even like the 2003 Clone Wars show. It's nostalgic, and that's why I think a lot of people like the Phase 1. But the Phase 2 to me, it's just they're more complex designs, and I prefer complexity in designs personally.
Yeah, I agree. I'm grabbing my Phase 1 and 2 helmets here right now, because looking at the 1, it feels just so much more cartoony, I think.
It does.
And then the 2, you've got the mic tips at the bottom that obviously resemble the stormtrooper. The right. Teeth are really starting to resemble the shape, the eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? What do you prefer, Phase 1 or Phase 2? You have so many clones in the collection. What do you think?
I mean, really, Kevin's the clone person. I collect them, but I think if I were to choose and only have one, it would definitely be the Phase 2 as well.
Yeah, and it seems like most people lean that way.
Yeah, it's the more like dominant version. It's when you see all the action from them and everything. You saw it, but
Revenge of the Sith, though, like some of the
that's
best
what I'm
clone
saying.
moments for me. I know that's like blasphemy for a lot of people because they love like the big Battle of Geonosis and Attack the Clones, but
yeah,
for me, I just love the clone scenes, Revenge of the Sith, and like the transition into Order 66. That's why like Commander Cody, for example, was like really exciting to me.
The 212th, I really want Hot Toys to drop, because the number one scene I always think of is in Revenge of the Sith, where he's fighting General Grievous, and the troopers come and he jumps on that spider and just like guns him down like right on top of him. Yeah.
Best moment is when Obi's, I forgot the name of that creature that he's riding on, but when he gets shot down and it lets out that like crazy screech. It was so sad. That's like one of the saddest, apart from obviously Padme.
The Ewoks.
Yeah, me and Kevin always make fun of that for like the Clone Wars, like how Rex and them didn't turn on Ahsoka or whatever, and then Cody was just like blast them like instantly.
I know. Yeah, like Rex was so hesitant in season 7 of the Clone Wars when the Order 66 scenes were going down. His hands were shaking and stuff, and Cody's just like, "We got him." Yeah, that's a really good point. When you think about it, it's like completely different in how they try to portray that. Let me see. I didn't touch on Railcar Boy's comment, but I think it's funny that so many people dislike the artillery trooper. It might be because of some people in our Discord talking about it too much, but I think it's a cool figure. Is it one that most people are going to pass on? Yeah, absolutely, because it's a very niche figure. If you have the Incinerator Trooper, it makes a lot of sense because they look really good together, but I do see why a lot of people don't like it, especially with all the stuff coming out. It's one where your money is better spent elsewhere for most people.
Yeah. I'm waiting. If I see it at maybe like, I don't know, something crazy like 150, I feel like I'd be like, well, I can't pass that up.
It's very possible because we saw like Incinerator Trooper got liquidated. I mean, everything is getting liquidated right now, and
I like the Incinerator. I have it. It's a cool trooper.
Yeah, exactly. It's really nice. I got it right next to me here, and I think it's really nice. And I like the red. I like troopers that are different. I like the pops of color. Like that's why I really like the Shock Trooper, like the Battlefront Shock Trooper. I don't own the figure, but I appreciate it because it's different. You know what I mean? Let me touch on this comment here real quick. Clone Trooper saying it's weird that it comes with 2 blasters and grenades while Transport Trooper only has 1. Man, the Transport Trooper is like one of the most bare bones trooper releases we've ever gotten. Like you get nothing, and I think it's because
literally
the scene, most of the scene, Mando was fist fighting in that armor. So that's probably why they didn't give us much, but they could have given us the sculpt with that figure. That's the biggest disappointing thing about that release is we didn't get a sculpt, and the Mando sculpt probably won't fit on it because it's going to have a neck, and 2, even if it did fit on it, has a sad expression. So I was super disappointed in that because that was like my whole plan. I had it all planned out.
Well,
look who it is! Hold on. What's up, Lane? Is he muted?
He's working on it.
I was about to say, I thought that was him laughing in the background. That'd be a perfect introduction. He's like an evil villain coming onto the stream. Oh, well, while Lane gets his stuff figured out, let me switch to...
That is weird. I cannot hear anything.
I was going to
say
real
hear anything?
quick.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Din Djarin, I saw on Justin Collection's video, it might actually fit on that Transport Trooper. The neck piece or whatever comes out.
Lane. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Captain Ghirardelli?
I don't think he could hear us.
Unable to hear you guys.
He missed the best.
He's unable to hear us.
I wonder if his sound's muted. Lane's having his old man moment.
All right, hold on.
Okay. What were you saying about the Mando sculpt? Sorry, we're kind of messing with Lane.
I was just saying I saw on Justin's Collection his video of the Transport Trooper that the neck piece or whatever after you take the helmet off does come off as well, like giving hope that the sculpt would fit. So
that's good to know because that's probably the biggest thing holding it back is when they put that neck piece. Let's see if we can hear Lane now.
It comes out.
There we go. Yes.
There he is. What's up?
There's the sexy voices I was waiting to hear all day.
I know.
But I didn't know it at the time either.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We're talking about Hot Toys figures.
Yes, we are talking about Hot Toys. Probably a lot that you won't be getting. A lot that you probably won't be getting.
They might pass through his house.
Well,
yeah, exactly. For
many
a week's
who have passed
time.
through on their continuing journey onto that forever continues to a galaxy far, far away.
That's the burning question. What for Lane? What is a figure where you're like, this one's staying in my collection? What makes that figure stay in your collection?
You guys make it sound like I sell a lot of stuff or something.
Oh yeah,
I'm a travel post or something like that. Saying,
if you want a discount, be friends with Lane because he's always going to sell it for under retail a week after he gets it. Because he's a nice guy. That's why he's a nice guy.
Was it him? You got the dark side Anakin, right?
Yeah,
he does. Yeah.
Yes, I think I saw you unbox that on somebody's stream.
Yeah, El Profesoro, Mario Cortez.
Yeah, that jump was. Did you ever get that lightsaber lit?
No, it was cracked. I didn't determine it until afterward. And then the gentleman who hooked me up with it got me a separate regular lightsaber and sent it to me like a week later.
Like a CFFL or just a standard?
No, just a regular track down the individual lightsaber being sold separately, which I never really kind of wanted the CCFL in the first place. But it was really cool. He sent it to me but it still has 3D printed like third party light side Anakin head sculpt too. You can
that's pretty
put
cool.
onto it.
If you ever get an extra body or something, or if you like putting together another one, you have the head for it.
Yeah. So not to get us too distracted. So you guys are talking about which ones have you already gone through so far?
So we talked about C-3PO. We were kind of lagging behind because we went off on a tangent. We can skip through the clone pilot. I'll just show everyone the rest of the pictures.
Yeah, this is one I will be passing on because
I thought so. I know you're not big into the obscure
in favor
characters.
I like obscure characters, but it's just I'm more like trooper wise. I'm more an Imperial trooper guy. Like that's more my thing. So
me too.
Thank you.
The shore troopers and the stormtroopers. But
I mean, just that's beautiful.
Yeah, so you better not be passing on this one, Lane. Because this is like, not only is it what we've been wanting for so long, but it's also $190. And it has the C-3PO head. Me personally, I was only going to get one, and then I saw the price, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy two, and I'm going to display one with the C-3PO head, because that's such a funny scene to me. Even to this day, when I rewatch it, I think that scene is so funny. Because C-3PO, he's just a funny character. Like, he could say whatever he wants, and I'd laugh at it. But
Hey boys,
the fact that they
I'm going to let you go.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciated you coming out.
Great meeting you.
I'll talk to you later.
You too. Lane, stay safe. Don't sell your stuff. And if not, I'll buy it.
Well,
take care, man.
Thank you, sir. Take care. This is
cool. So are you getting this one, Lane? Please tell me you are. At least one.
I don't know.
So
I only own one clone trooper.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Is it because like you look at your display and you're like, where will this fit in my current displays as like a scene, or you're just like, I'm kind of on the fence because I could spend my money elsewhere?
I'm very much in the mindset right now. I need to wait till when these are actually going to come out and see what's out at that time, because I am limited, as you guys have known, and in some of the chat I'm sure makes fun of and this and that. I have sometimes bought too many figures that I haven't been like absolutely locked in on. Like I just canceled my Staff Anakin, and I've had a bunch of people go like, "What are you doing? Why'd you do that?" Including
me.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know, including you. But now this isn't necessarily that I won't end up eventually get them. It's as of right now, I could see that money being used for something else, maybe that's coming, like Jane,
which is reasonable, right?
But,
which is reasonable,
and I'm very much, because I might be moving soon too. In the next couple
more
of
space,
months.
You get more space. I hope so.
I don't have a lot of space. That's like why.
That's why I was asking. Like, are you going to move somewhere where you can like grow your collection and keep some stuff?
Well, probably going to be similar size space. That's why I'm facing my about the tumbler right now.
Yeah, right. Don't even get me started, man. Don't even get me started.
Okay, I want to say anyway. Yeah, this figure is awesome. I'm really glad they're doing it. I probably am going to end up getting at least like one of them. So it just at least I put something. Or if like for some Joe Blow reason I decide to get the Anakin staff or something, one of these guys just to go on, because I don't know how much I would have Anakin actually on the staff.
Yeah, I agree.
Because honestly, the staff looks kind of really boring to me, since it's literally like
a lot of people are going for the regular one, because that staff I think was only used in the Clone Wars film. I don't even know if it was in the show.
He's ridden on the staff a couple other times, maybe not the blue one, but other stuff.
Right, but a stolen droid staff he's rode on. I think for me, the main reason I got is because I cannot say no to the deluxe. I just can't. The way my brain works.
Preach it.
Are you getting the Bespin Luke Deluxe?
I'm getting two Bespin Luke Deluxes.
Why?
You get a battle damage one.
That's $60 for just a remade Luke and Vader helmet.
So I have plans, though. I have plans. So the reason I'm getting two. I'm gonna take the two Bespin floor carbon freezing chamber bases. I'm gonna give those to my Lando and my Boba Fett, which I have sitting behind Empire Strikes Back Vader. And then I'm gonna take the Bespin bases and kind of make a little scene out of those Bespin bases with my Empire Strikes Back Yoda. Some people in the Discord know, but I'm making a custom out of one of the Lukes. I bought. Because they didn't specify if they were releasing him with the tank top like they did the DX07. So I went and bought a tank top just in case I missed out on it. Mm-hmm. And I actually bought. I have it right here. Let me see.
Yeah. Well, one thing you would ask me, guys, like, why would I pass maybe on the staff or something in Anakin? Because I can say I got DX-18 that's coming on Monday. I've got the Transport Trooper still coming. I've got the classic suit that's been released and is coming. I have the last Wonder Woman that's been released and is coming. So there are other things. And see, the scary part is all of these are already paid for, except for shipping and tax. Or they're already paid for, except for like 2 cents at my LCS. Right. So I am trying, where like you're asking me about this guy, I am trying to pull myself back in 2020 because I'm starting, like, you know, I got a J&D statue coming too.
Oh, what'd you get?
And I'm getting the Catwoman. I'm just waiting forever when Spec Fiction's going to get it, and they're going to be saying, "Hey, guess what? Time to pay us like $2,000."
Yeah, that's the thing about statues, man. There's a lot of them. I
was a statue collector for 20 years before I would collect it.
I remember you telling me that, so it makes sense that you're kind of dabbling in both.
I'm not getting to. I can fit max, like, if my layout currently, I can fit like 13 statues. That's it. So I really need to. I gotta like really kind of pull the reins back and like make sure you really want something, because when that spot's gone, like it's gone.
It's such
more than Hot Toys.
Yeah, it's such a huge space commitment to collect statues. You have to know that you want to do it. You know what I mean? Because once you start buying them, it becomes a pain. Because then if you want to sell them, you got to worry about them breaking and stuff like that. So it's got to be a big commitment.
So my big thing is for 2023, and it's not like I'm saying I'm not going to buy any Hot Toys anymore at all or anything. Like, the price point is getting to the point where I almost, and that's a whole different topic, not to get us on a rant for an hour between us for that. But I'm trying to limit myself right now where I get no more than 3 Hot Toys in a quarter, like every 3-month quarter. We know they're not all going to make it in that time. I mean, we're not silly at this point. What's going
right with all the delays.
But reasonable stuff for what dates, like for our prime territory, America, what Sideshow gives us, that's what we have to go off. I'm not going off the Hong Kong dates. I'm going over what they're saying here. Relative, we might get it because that's our territory. And every 3 months, I'm trying to. It's one of the reasons, you know, people are saying don't pre-order anymore. Well, I'm trying to do that. I have 2 Hot Toys in pre-orders in 2023. I'm just getting crushed this year.
I wish you knew how many I had.
I still got like I got like 24 or 25 or something crazy like that.
I'm like right under 30, I think.
Yeah,
and that's like me being pre-orders. Yeah.
But hey, we're still less than Nate over at Geeking Out.
Nate gets 3 of everything.
Yeah, he's getting 10 DeLoreans, as I keep telling him over and over again.
I mean, he got that new case. He's got plenty of room.
Yeah, but what I'm like looking at is kind of like no more than 3 assists. So like right now, and I may be even kind of violating this a little bit because I just pre-ordered Wenwu because I used to coupon.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
that figure's awesome.
And I like the movie. It's the only.
Me too.
It's the only of so far released. Obviously, I'm taking kind of Spider-Man out because that's kind of a weird thing with Spider-Man because it's a Sony and Marvel thing where like Eternals and Shang-Chi, even though creatively I know Marvel's probably kind of the more driving force since it's still part of the MCU. I look at that as kind of a different thing because Sony also has Venom, which is kind of side tangent. I hate all this stuff, tangentially and tied in or whatever. But I'm getting Wenwu.
Take care, man.
Take care. Thank you for joining us. 2023, I have Wenwu. I have the Catwoman from Dark Knight. Why was I saying Black Knight Rises? I don't know. I was just about to say Dark Knight Rises.
Close enough.
Yes. And then I've got Fennec. Because like Fennec was one I knew I was going to get. I was going to get that character because I'm getting the Boba on Throne. Like, she's going to go with it. Even though I'm having some second thoughts on the Boba on Throne after the Boba Fett show.
I'm getting nothing from Boba.
Keep it in your mind that that's from Mando, and it might allow you to keep the pre-order.
I'm thinking, how much space is that thing going to take?
Oh, it's going to be massive. I would be shocked if it fit in a DTOF. It might just barely fit. I haven't looked at the dimensions in a while, and I can't remember if it's close enough or not. But it might just barely fit. Which, if it just barely fits, you technically could have Fennec sitting on one of the armrests on the throne.
Well, my thing is because I canceled. I'm going to try and save the money, but I know I'm not going to say all $400 or whatever I put towards it already. I'm not stupid enough. I'm going to find some of that money to use towards something, whether it's helping to do a statue payment. Like I just got charged today because I'm getting the Advanced Suit Batman from Prime One, which is like a 20-inch, $655 Batman statue. I was like, well, I like quarter scale the best. It's a Prime One, and it's a Batman that doesn't cost over $1,000.
That's true. It's a good
and
price point.
It's going to go right next to a Huntress that I already have paid off.
Oh, there you go.
From Sideshow.
See, it's good to have things planned out.
Yeah, we'll run.
I'm going to touch on this real quick with the droid, and then we'll move on to the next figure.
I'm not meaning to get a sidetracked anymore, but
I want to know. Correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but I don't see that this figure is going to stay in this pose very easily. I know this. I know the Sideshow figures had this, and it was a nightmare. Obviously, the Hot Toys is probably going to be better engineered because there's a huge time gap in between the Sideshow release for the Battle Droids.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see this pose working out without a stand, or like maybe just like the stand portion behind his back to lean against, maybe. But I would be very impressed if he could actually stay in this like decompressed pose like this. That would take a crazy amount of engineering to keep him balanced when he's low like that.
Yeah, some people are saying as well there could be a little bit of diecast. It wasn't mentioned in the K2SO, even though it's in his legs, but it's not in the description like it is. Yeah.
So look here on
that's
those
what
legs.
I'm saying. Yeah.
So that's exactly, I have K2SO, so that's exactly how he works. He's got like that disc style joint. What were you going to say, Lane?
Ratcheted too.
Yeah, I'm really worried about how easily this figure is going to break. That's my main thing.
Look how skinny the arms and legs are.
Yeah. Even more so, we talked about some things with like IG-11, which I never actually got to take mine out of the box because someone offered.
Oh, that's right. You got a crazy trade. You traded for Krennic, right?
Yeah, I literally got it in. I never even took it out of the plastic.
I would have traded all day. I would have made that trade all day. I was so happy.
I literally came in. He said, "Oh, you got IG-11? I'll switch you out for it." And I was like,
I like what Clone Trooper said there.
Yeah, but anyway, my concern for this guy is like I had with IG. Now I think IG-11 is a better made figure than this one probably is going to end up being too. But like that one, the joints and stuff, long term, like if you just do something silly or it falls or something like that, will it be in 3 pieces?
Probably. Clone Trooper, you make a good point here. I think that's part of the reason that you see Hot Toys putting die-cast in without mentioning it. Like IG-11, for example, has die-cast thigh plates. And I think that helps with not only the balance, but it makes the figure feel more substantial. Because obviously with a droid, there's not a lot of material there because there's a lot of like cutouts and stuff and sometimes pass-throughs through their joints and things like that. So yeah, die-cast components are very important in thin, light figures like this because one, it throws off the balance if you don't have some sort of weight somewhere in the figure. But two, if you're going to charge $190 for it, it's got to feel like it's worth $190, you know?
Can't feel like the Sideshow ones. Basically.
Right. Like not like the General Grievous, which I do own. You can see him up here. I do own that figure, but I'm never touching it.
Trash compactor? That's great.
I do. Yeah, he's got him too. Yours is in a cooler pose than mine, but I also had to stuff mine in a DTOF shelf. So.
I made Kevin.
But it is possible. It's very possible.
I still think whatever jokes we make or stuff or concerns we have this figure, it's still great that because I think we can agree in general. Hot Toys has done droids really cool. I mean, they don't.
Absolutely.
Surprisingly, they don't. No. And I think I do like it too. They just don't make a ton of droids. Like they only do them every once in a while because I don't think necessarily exclusivity with these guys necessarily. I mean, they're the battle droids from the prequels. That's not going to change since they're kind of stupid.
Exactly.
They look stupid. Even though I think they ended up working like in Clone Wars is kind of the overwhelming numbers is their thing. They're not supposed to be that smart.
They're just there for comic relief. That's all they're there for. I mean, and to die.
It's like stormtroopers eventually. The whole thing is they don't cost as much. They're like people we can indoctrinate, not have to pay for to grow and do all that stuff they had to do with clone troopers long term. Numbers eventually beat you. Eventually.
Well, that's what
they're always going to have more people than you.
That's what Obi-Wan said to Dexter when he was in the diner, saying that if droids had a brain, none of them would be there.
Yeah, That's a very
Unless
good point.
I guess for stormtroopers, unless you ran into an army of Boba Fett clones with gaffy sticks,
That would suck. You'd be done. There's nothing you could do. I don't care if you're a Jedi or not.
10,000 Boba Fetts with gaffy sticks against like 100,000 legions of the best Imperial stormtroopers ever is going to end with like all the stormtroopers.
Just all the stormtroopers missing and dying really quick.
Maybe a tenth of the Boba Fetts die, but like or less. 500 Boba Fetts die, and then all 100,000 stormtroopers are dead. And you're like, these are losses, Sinus, we cannot sustain.
Right, exactly. Kumar made an interesting point. I knew this before, but I didn't remember. The sideshow battle droids are actually packaged in that crouching pose, which is like,
I didn't know that.
Which is really weird because you would think that would be a bad idea to keep them packaged like that. Because like, think about this. Like, what about the people that are keeping them in box to sell as new one day because they're letting them grow in value? Well, they were. I guess not anymore. But
no.
Imagine buying one new in box and you open it up and it's just like a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say if people were doing that for this, those died about the same price when people were trying to sell their broken General Grievases.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like if they came to box like that though, like if you were opening it, because then it's like they're coming out of the line or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
it
the
absolutely
idea.
is
Cool.
really. It's a cool idea, but as far as like longevity of the figure is concerned, it's not a great idea.
Yeah.
So obviously, for me personally, if anyone's seen me commenting in our Discord and our Facebook, like this is the most exciting release or tease rather for me. I do have the crappy sideshow Mace Windu above my head, stuffed in the back to where you can't see him. He's being covered by Ahsoka.
That face, man. That face.
Okay. So if you're angry about that, imagine me. I bought Kevin that Toys Works one that he customized, which looks badass. I missed out on it, and you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, it's reselling for a pretty penny. I mean, now if this Hot Toys one comes, I told Kevin, I'm like, sell it right now, and he's like, no, I want to keep it for
he wants for like
my Revenge of the Sith Mace Windu. I'm like, I see what you mean.
He wants like every single
evolutions of every single figure. I can't talk. You can look behind my head and see how many Kylo Rens and I have like 8 Boba Fett's. I mean, a huge collection of Boba Fett, so I can't talk.
Praetorian Guard back there.
Yeah, that's a Praetorian Guard back there.
Okay, you can go ahead and just pack that up and send that off down this way.
Didn't you have a Praetorian Guard? Or did you never get him? Oh,
No,
so
I
you
did.
sold them and now you want them back?
Well, you know, I decided honestly it was for shelf space. I was like, am I getting how long? I literally went looking at it because I had the Praetorian Guard, I had a Sith Trooper, I had Kylo Ren, and I had Rise of Skywalker Rey. And I asked myself, am I going to want to have this here a year from now? And I went, no. If I had both the dual blade and the other and had the heavy blade Praetorian Guard, I probably would have kept them. But I only had one. And the Sith Trooper just wasn't working for me.
I got him for such a good deal. That's why I kept him. I personally don't think the design's that great, but I was given a really good deal by a member of the Discord. They gave him to me for retail because they got him from when he got randomly restocked on Sideshow. So that's why I decided to keep him.
I missed that. I remember. I missed it.
Yeah. And I bought him off of a member of the Discord. He was nice enough to give it to me for retail plus shipping. So I was like, you know what? Let me give the figure a chance. If I don't like it, I'll give someone else the same deal. But I was like, you know what? It would look really cool with the Last Jedi Rey and Kylo. So I decided to keep it. And so far, I'm glad I did. I just want to touch on this comment here.
Yeah.
So Kumar is saying that despite the battle droid being packed that way, it's standing proud for 9 months now, and he has more confidence in Hot Toys. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hot Toys, anything that Sideshow can do, Hot Toys can do twice as better. We got to remember that. So that's why this release is so exciting. Not only is it going to visually be better, apart from there being like a huge time gap between the releases, you have to give Sideshow credit there. There's a huge time difference between the releases. But just the engineering of the figure, I think that's what everyone is really excited for with Hot Toys starting to release some of these random figures that Sideshow has released in the past, like hopefully Grievous in the future. Like, can you imagine the engineering difference that would be put into a Hot Toys Grievous versus a Sideshow one? Right. It would absolutely have some form of die cast. Maybe not full die cast, but the joints absolutely would be.
Are you forgetting he's going to be like $500?
Oh, I'd pay it all day.
Who cares?
Even though I have this one, I'd pay it all day.
For Grievous. The lightsabers would be done better too.
You know what? Just go buy the $900 statue that's going to come out later
That statue is really nice, but again, statues are just so big, and I'm already out of room with the amount of Hot Toys I have because I just had to put a display in the basement. But
I'm glad you guys helped me not feel bad about myself.
Yeah, the only statue I have is right behind me. I got the Sideshow Grogu, and that's probably the only. And it's hard because like that Mythos Vader statue, the Maul, the Asajj, they're so nice, and I love like the art style of them, but they're just too big.
Well, I only want
two statues.
Which ones are you after, or what do you want?
I mean, technically they consider them 1/6 scale fit, but it's the Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah,
and then
the Jabba the Hutt's really nice.
And then I want the Drogon because I'm a Game of Thrones fan. But
they say
it's a 1/6 scale figure, but it's basically
it's a statue. Yeah, my girlfriend wanted it, and then she saw the price and like, no thanks. It's what, like $1,600 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, $1,505 on Sideshow. I still want it though. I'm not gonna lie.
It is awesome. It looks really cool.
They only made 50 of them, and it's still sitting there to this
Really?
day.
It was only a 50 piece. I didn't.
No,
know
I don't
that.
think 50. I think it's like. I want to say
it's got to be low though, because 3.0 doesn't do like heavy batches. Because they're a smaller company.
It says low stock on Sideshow.
Yeah, it's been
that
low
way
stock
for like
a
a year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by this tax return, like next year, that it's still there because that's what I'm gonna grab.
Money to shell out. That's a lot of money to shell out.
I'd like to get an actual tax return. I thought I was going to get one.
Oh, that's right. You had to pay this year.
I might not get this year because I got my raise. I'm at top pay with my job. So.
Well, yeah, I purged like all my statues except for two. I had one that I kept, which was a Sideshow premium format Cheetah from DC Comics that I had. Oh yeah,
that's your baby.
Yeah, but I got my first one of like my latest entry, which probably was a bad idea on my part, but up there is my Moff Gideon.
Oh, that's right. I was very surprised to see you got that. I actually saw it in person at my local comic shop the other day, and I was very impressed by the sculpt considering it's a Sideshow product.
Yeah,
like I know their statues are nice, but
it's not the best sculpt. They're
not
much better comic than.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not, but it's still pretty nice considering
the rest of the statue.
Have you seen their Han Solo? Like the Bespin Han Solo? That sculpt is horrible.
That looks don't have to go back even that far. We can just look at the General Skywalker that just is coming out.
I was just gonna say Star Wars Theory just unboxed that one. Was that the Mythos one or something?
Yeah.
And he thought it was amazing. I was like,
when he's not spoiled like us having Hot Toys and some people buying like higher end statues to where they know the difference between like a decent statue and a really good statue. You know
like I would say, even though it didn't have it's based off a gaming character necessarily. I would tell you for facial sculpt showing, I would say like speaking in Star Wars stuff, like the XM Malik came out, even though he's not technically a real person, he's a facial sculpt there, like most of them.
Those statues are insane.
And that they're still in stock just mazes me. But they're also $1,000 for a quarter scale. So.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's the price. Apart from that, like the sculpt on both of those is amazing.
Yeah, the Revan one's cool.
Yeah, I want to. Eric made a really good point, and I think that would be an amazing release if we got the Magna Guards. Because obviously that's like an obvious choice to go with Grievous. Sideshow probably didn't make the Magna Guards because their engineering was already so bad on the General Grievous. They're probably like, well, let's not try this again. Because can you imagine, it would even be more difficult to get the Magna Guards to stand because they're such a weird shaped body.
Yeah.
I can see why they didn't attempt that.
I don't think we needed a Magna Guard, though. I think...
No, we didn't, because we have Dooku and Django coming, so you have plenty of Revenge of the Sith.
These guys coming in the Super Battle Droid, like those are the main two.
Right, that's definitely more exciting.
Probably 80% of what people who want any of these droids from the prequels would want. You know, the Destroyer droids, the Droideka.
Yep.
Those are cool, but I even I forget what they're called, but the ninja style ones that they had. There were more not in the movies, but in the Clone Wars.
In the video game?
Are you talking about like the commando droids? They have like the little
commando,
sword. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. I always forget their name.
I always
really
call them the because they look the first.
They are. That's like they're like security droids. They're really cool. Yeah, those are really cool droids, and I would 100% buy one of those because they gave some of those in the scenes with the Jedi. They gave some of them a run for their money.
even more than the Magna Guards did in some cases.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
true. The Magna Guards were pretty pathetic in most scenes. They just look cool, and I like the sound of their staff.
It felt like they should have been that they were like the personal bodyguards of the general of the droid army, basically.
Right.
Because they never were mass produced as much as any of the others.
Exactly.
They should have been a little bit more powerful.
They're purpose built, so they should have been more powerful. So as far as Mace is concerned, originally I personally thought that it would certainly be a Star Wars Celebration exclusive that we would see announced during Star Wars Celebration. But after that screenshot that we saw this morning, or I keep calling it a screenshot, after that, the image that was posted by Hot Toys this morning, where they were saying like, hey, we've got more Attack of the Clones 20th stuff coming soon. Did that change your opinion on when it possibly would be released? Because I think it did for me. I think we might even see this in between the time that we're waiting for Celebration, because I think Celebration is like the 26th or the 27th it starts.
It's still a ways away yet.
Right. So I could see them possibly showing this Mace in between that. Now, maybe they could show a full picture of it and not release it until they let Sideshow drop it for Star Wars Celebration. That's possible. But I mean, what else do we think they're going to release? My money's on Padme for sure. And not because everyone comments on it in every single Hot Toys post that goes up like they always do, but because they already fully made the
Remake
figure.
46, Mark 46.
Exactly, reissue Mark 46, and then before that it was Cyborg, and now they got Cyborg, so now they gotta chant about something else. But yeah, because we already have a full nice prototype that just needs a better sculpt for the Padme, I think it's very possible that we'll get that Padme. So TK592 is saying possibly every Tuesday until Celebration. So I think Monica was telling me that typically Hot Toys put stuff up like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. That's the days they like to put up posts, whether it's a tease or a release or things like that. So
they just had the Doctor Strange ones too for the Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, sorry, that to be joke.
That was hilarious though. That was we can touch on that now just because you're bringing it up. Everyone, I don't know if you were in the Discord at the time, but everyone was so mad that they dropped the tease for Scarlet Witch
before the
May the 4th stuff. And I'm like, do you honestly think that that's all they're going to do tonight?
I didn't
like,
care
calm
about that.
down.
I know. That's not what bothered me.
Oh, that's not what bothered you.
And I put in quotes, bothered me. None of this bothered me really when they put, but I was kind of like, why are you putting the, I mean, I sort of understand because the movie's
Take care,
coming
Clone
out.
Trooper.
Thank you.
Night, dude.
I mean this, I understand why, but I also don't understand I understand from where if they were told kind of, hey, you need to put this out as part of marketing and stuff built because the movie's coming out tomorrow, like within a couple days of it.
Right.
But I don't, and I'm not talking about the Doctor Strange one.
Right.
Because there's another one for No Way Home coming. So, I mean, but that I don't understand the Scarlet Witch one before the WandaVision one came out.
That's true, because the outfit's very similar. Very, very similar.
They're almost, I think it's a little bit darker maybe. And
right, and then the hair.
Upper arm, and the upper arms are covered. Like, that's it.
Which I think I like this. I mean, obviously we haven't seen the full images of it, but I think I like the WandaVision one more, to be honest with you.
I'm getting the WandaVision. I may be biased. You can accuse me of being biased too, because I decided finally. I had the WandaVision on pre-order for like 9 months, and then I canceled it because I just was like pulling back from Marvel. And well, it's like I have different ideas. Like I had a Spider-Man idea for a long time, so I had pre-ordered like. I still have classic suits. Why I got Mysterio.
That classic suit is so nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting till Doomsday to get it because I'm getting it through my LCS.
I'm just waiting for Tom Holland. That one at the end. If they do that, that's what I'll be picking up.
Yeah. That suit is beautiful. They have to make a figure of that with the next movie.
It tells me how that one should be popular. I mean, the classic suit for Marvel, and I don't know how reliable this is, but for Marvel Hot Toys, the classic suit Spider-Man for a while was the #1 seller, for them. Like people want that old look, even though obviously the other one looks brighter or something. I don't know.
That's why I like Andrew's suit.
Yeah. But I was getting him, and I was going to be doing Mysterio and I'm getting the Mysterio Iron Man illusion. because I really think
that figure is so cool. But for me, it's the price. It's such a cool figure. Yeah, the thing is, I might get FOMO'd when it's closer to coming out because it's just so cool. And when we see the final
delay
product
till
photos,
Doomsday though, because
it absolutely will, because it's such a unique figure and it's got that like skull on the inside. That's like a hard figure to engineer. So that figure is going to get delayed and delayed and delayed.
Right. So what I'm doing is, and I want to actually get your guys' opinion on this before we would leave tonight. It's one of the reasons I want to have two other collectors who I've seen on the Discord and stuff. But anyway, we will talk about this later. I'm getting us too sidetracked, which is what I was worried I would do. Let's finish talking about these Attack of the Clones figure. Mace, I think, is coming. Yeah,
Mace absolutely is coming. I mean, that's going to be a huge, huge seller for them. So many people have been waiting for Mace. And even like myself, I have the Sideshow one, and it's like that figure is going in the trash basically when the Hot Toys one comes out. I'll probably even sell it within the next couple of weeks. I'll probably sell it.
Yeah, you're going to sell it to be your NRD payment.
Yeah, exactly. You're buying the other exactly. That's basically what I'll get for it now that everyone knows the Hot Toys one's coming.
Here, I need give me $30 in shipping, and it's yours.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need $30 in the shipping so I can pay for the NRD. That's all I want.
Exactly. So let's talk about this Reg Clone Trooper. This was another one that I think a lot of people were super excited about because this is like the army builder that everyone was hoping for. And I know Collecting Madness, his brother Kevin, made a couple, I think, Reg, just one? Did he do a couple or just one?
It's just the one right there.
Right. So I think what he did was he took a 501st Clone Trooper and he sanded all of the markings off and he actually made his own Reg. And he's not the only one. Like if you go on a lot of these customs groups on Facebook for 1/6 scale, there's so many people in there that have been making custom Reg clones because they want to build an army. And now Hot Toys is like, we want some of that money. Here you go. And it comes in a cool box and it's a fair price. Because this one's coming in at $230. And I think, yes, it doesn't have a head sculpt, but it's like, with the price games that they're playing right now, it's a trooper. It's what it should be, but of course we always have that in the back of our head where like they might actually price themselves out soon enough. So surprising to see that they kept the cost down on some of these compared to what we were expecting. Because honestly, for me, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed this to $245.
Yeah,
and it does come with a decent amount. I mean, it's got 3 blasters.
Ricky Bobby.
I'm trying not to, but for $230, like let's think about it. Like for $230, you get a decent amount of hands. You get 3 blasters, including the rocket launcher, right?
Backpack.
You get 2 helmets, and you get the backpack. So it's like for $230, and it comes with that cool box. Like, are you guys picking this one up? I'm getting one. I will say I'm not one of the people that Army builds clones because I have way too many Star Wars figures as it is. But I will be getting one of them at least.
Yeah, I also plan on getting one. I don't go too deep into getting multiples unless it's something super extreme. But even the battle droid we were talking about before, I only plan on getting one because I'm waiting on the super battle droid.
Yeah,
I think I'll have those two next to each other.
That's what I prefer, the super battle droid. Like it's
definitely a cooler design, and he does cooler stuff. He shoots rockets. Like, come on.
Except in Revenge of the Sith and with R2-D2, then they don't look so cool.
Yeah, then they slip on oil and catch on fire. So Kumar is saying he's hoping that they release the 212 Utpal troopers or agree.
What, didn't they show one of those guys?
They showed. I know they showed the airborne and the standard 212 at one point.
Like a long time ago now, but.
Probably. I think the 212 is going to be their next move. It's got to be soon. Because, like, look, they showed that Phase 1 clone commander or sergeant. I think it was a sergeant. Initially, I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the picture, I was so drowned in hype with all the announcements. I was like, oh, 212, and it's just a Phase 1 212. And then someone corrected me. They're like, no, that's not a 212. And I looked at it again. I'm like, why did I think that was the 212? It doesn't even look like the 212.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, it was the yellow that tricked me. Yeah, and everyone in the Discord was going along with it. They're all like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait. We're getting the 212. It's gonna have the Phase 2 helmet." We were all hyped.
But I thought it was. I was confused at first till I saw the helmet with the animated series helmet from the first season. I was like, "Oh, is that a pilot?" But that was my response too. I'm like, "Oh, is it a pilot? That's weird." You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It like that figure is just one of those weird things because we say we want obscure stuff, but then we look at it and kind of go, well. It's obscure, but it's kind of not at the same time because it's literally 90% of it is this guy.
Exactly.
With a slight change, with like he's got a little breathalyzer thing on the connected to his suit to help him breathe if he gets blown into outer space. Unfortunately, that didn't seem to help a lot of them.
No,
they seem to get blown into outer space a lot and still die.
Yeah, that's their life is there to get blown up. Saloon is saying, shout out to Hot Toys for saving us money by including a Phase 2 helmet and not making it a separate figure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point that you put it in quotes because they're not really saving us money. I think part of it is, one, they don't have the resources right now to make 2 separate figures with just the helmet being the difference and maybe some different blasters or something. It definitely made more sense to make like a definitive reg clone trooper to have both the Phase 1 and the Phase 2 helmet, because if you're someone like me, if it was just the Phase 1, it would have been tempting for me to buy, but I don't know if I would have bought it because I'm a Phase 2 guy. Like, look, this is a perfect example right here. Like, that Phase 2 helmet is just too nice. Like, I much prefer the Phase 2 design, and I think it does fit in a lot better with your Revenge of the Sith figures like Cody and Obi-Wan and Anakin, like Jedi Anakin.
Yeah. I think this, I think this, with this guy, they hit the perfect middle ground for using the 501st, because that was probably the basis they used.
Absolutely.
This guy does not have as much stuff as the deluxe version. Obviously, that figure has the most ridiculous amount of stuff for the price. Like, we're just like, oh my god, like, what were they like? Did someone bang their head and get a concussion that day when they decided to put out, type in the price point and send out the information and put it on the website?
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder, like, how they come up with these price points, because some of them they just don't add up. Like, how is this figure that comes with the same amount of stuff $15 less, and that one's, you know what I mean, and this one's $15 more? Part of me thinks that it might be some of the licenses are more expensive to get, and maybe that's why they're hiking up the price.
But this guy,
that's like Gilgamesh at $285.
Yeah, exactly. Why is he $285? He comes with nothing. He basically just got his fisticuffs. That's all he's got.
He should be. I looked at him and thought he should have been I mean, and I say only, and in chat
only 270.
We put in quotes only.
Right.
I mean, he probably should be 250 at least in comparison to Wenwu and Shang-Chi, because they came out within 2. I know the engineering may have started earlier because of delays, but we're going off when they actually were released to the public. They came out within 2. The movies came out within 2 months of each other,
right?
7 weeks of each other, something like that.
Not a long amount of time.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, both figures, which come with more stuff. They
are way cooler.
Literally come with on. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the Shang-Chi because I was on his character. He, to me, was the least cool part of his movie.
I mean, obviously, like Wenwu, he was that dude.
Well, yes,
that dude was so real, but
but it's trying to compare Sima Lu to John Lu. It's not fair. You can't compare what they've done in their careers. Sima Lu might have to be like that for a very distinguished career, but he's a really young guy in comparison. Got a lot to, but those figures are $250. Now that might be pricing also for, in the Hong Kong home market, because they know this guy is going to sell.
Right. Now, they're popular actors in Hong Kong. So
Gilgamesh, I don't know, but Gilgamesh should be 270.
Yeah, Monica was telling me that he thought they released Gilgamesh because they know that actor is popular in Hong Kong, so the figure is going to sell just based on that. And that's a really good point. I mean, you can't admit that you haven't ever like looked at a figure for a character that you might not be a huge fan of, but you like the actor. At some point, you're like, oh, I really like this actor, but this might be the only figure of that actor that they ever make. And it kind of makes you think,
They spent time literally physically redid the facial sculpt for Wenwu, where, we would look at that, here in the West and go, dude, that guy's on the $20 coupon for, for Sideshow. And it's not, he's a new figure, it's not like he would just put out last week. It's because you look at his pre-orders for Marvel out of, I don't know, 50 whatever figures, 50, 60 there are now. He's in the bottom, like, third. It has
Which is surprising.
I got a quick question for you both. Do you think, I've seen a lot of people say they still think the Phase 1 helmet is too small or doesn't look right?
I think they look big, like the one with the 501st looked too big on the head.
Yeah, I think they did scale it down a little bit for these new releases.
Yeah.
Is it a happy medium? Not quite, but I think it's better. Like the 501st one. Yeah, the 501st one in person is a little weird. It's definitely a little too large. I think the scaled down look is much better, and I think it looks cleaner and less animated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me touch on a few comments here. Eric said he's getting 4. I guess you're talking about the reg. Yeah, a lot of people are going to army build these. Like you would be surprised how many people are probably going to army build these over like 2 12th troopers and 501st troopers
guard and stuff, because
exactly
you don't have, and these guys are really, and we can just say because they're plain white, they're ones you can easily, if you're going to do any alterations or any painting wise, you can paint that. You can't do that easily with the Coruscant guard or the other guys.
No,
these guys you can just, if you want to have a couple for, you don't want just all the regular ones, but you want to try and have one of a 212 and some of the other regiments mixed in,
and the 2 helmets, it just gives you other options.
Yep. It's a great base for customizers too. I'm sure a lot of them were like, oh, I save all this time sanding these 3D printed parts. I could just buy these and dissect them.
Kevin's already talking about the product.
Oh yeah, I know he's hyped. So Kumar said he prefers Phase 2 compared to Phase 1, but the clone pilot Phase 1 looks super badass. Reminds me of Stallone's Dredd. That's actually a good point. It does kind of look like the Judge Dredd helmet.
You mean the helmet he never wore because he had to tell us he was Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, exactly.
Movie?
Exactly.
Instead of being like, Judge Dredd.
Exactly. But yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. For me, I still prefer the Phase 2 helmet on the pilot, just because, again, with me, everything Phase 2 is just my preferred style of helmet, but I do think it's cool. Eric said Phase 1. Yeah, okay, so.
Yeah.
Realistically, nothing with Hot Toys is fully accurate. And once you accept that, you can find more enjoyment in it as long as it's not like crazy off.
Yeah.
Because once you get this stuff in hand,
the
if you're like a
Spider-Man
stickler,
people were complaining about the black and gold.
Yeah. Which I actually just got that figure. It's in the basement. I wish I could show it. But
that's how much you loved it. You went immediately down into the basement of the
yeah, so I don't want to do him like that. He was in here, but I moved all of my like non-Star Wars stuff out of my collection room because actually, Collecting Madness, his brother and I built a custom display in my basement so I can move all my Marvel stuff out. So I moved all my Marvel stuff out there, but I just got the black and gold suit like 3 weeks ago. It was kind of an impulse buy because my local comic shop had them. But that figure, like the details on that suit are insane.
I'm just glad you guys talk about LCSs that like get figures and statues. Mine doesn't. They like I have to special order all my stuff.
Here they go with the dirty dishes stuff again, guys.
Well, you I don't know. You look pretty clean there. Like you had a good shower this morning and everything.
I could have not showered in weeks. You never know. You can't smell me.
No. Well, smell-o-vision maybe. If smell-o-vision were coming,
eventually.
I probably would.
We'll enable it if we eventually get.
Well, no. If smell-o-vision were coming, I would definitely not be doing online things like this anymore because we'd be all.
Yeah, exactly. We'd all be dead. What is the best Discord? I think we know the answer to that. Yeah, Jog, what's the best Discord?
I'm gonna take. I don't know.
You better say the right answer. All right. So the best Discord I'm gonna answer for Lane. The best Discord is Star Wars memorabilia and lore. The link is in the description of the video. If you want to join and you like Star Wars, join the Discord. We also talk about Marvel and stuff too. So if you want to talk about figures, you don't have to be on stream all the time. Feel free to hop in.
And I always sell figures on there too. Don't forget, you got to remember.
Yeah, Jog always puts his stuff up in for sale in there for less than retail. Yeah, he did. I can't.
They're giving up that dark side. Hit me.
Lane he is probably one of our earliest members in the Discord, and the fact that he forgot the name.
I think the first day.
I think you were. I think you were one of the first members, and the fact that you forgot the name, it hurts. But no,
I just go. It's the Hot Toys Discord.
That's true. Yeah, everyone flocks to that premium 6-scale channel. Yeah, that's true. See, because I'm the owner, I got to go through every channel, so I participate in every one. But I do tend to flock to the 6-scale channel because that's what I like the most. All right, so this is I'll show this before we move on. This is the tease that we got of the I think it was someone said in the chat. This is the Commander. I completely forgot the name of them. Like the Phase 1 clones, they're over my head half the time. But I think this is the Clone Commander. A lot of people seem to be excited for this. I don't know if I'll be picking it up, to be honest with you, because it's just kind of like who does that go with? I'm not going to have any other phase 1s in my collection. I say that now, but who knows if like when it actually comes out, I'll be like, oh, now I need it.
Well, you bought two of the, maybe you decided to get 2 of these clones, and you look and it's like, it would just be really cool because I can put him, pointing, go that direction and go blast those droids coming from that direction or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah. Just have his head turned away so you can't see his phase 1.
Here's the one I'm after.
This one is actually interesting to you. That's good to know.
This is the one I am going to get.
So this isn't a surprising release, but based on the fact that they released another R2 because they kept teasing him with Mando, and we were all sure we were going to get that Mando 2-pack, and then they stiffed us, which is very surprising. But this one is super exciting because not only does it have a ton of weathering, which could be perfect for like a Dagobah display for an original trilogy Empire Strikes Back display, it comes with a lot of the deluxe edition accessories, which for someone like myself that owns the deluxe, I'm not mad at all because, one, it gives everybody a chance to own this, but they also gave me my exclusive accessories that didn't come with this one. So as long as Hot Toys does something like that, it shouldn't make you upset because you still have something that's exclusive to that release. You know what I mean? Because you still get some different tools that aren't included in this one, and you also get the lantern, and you get the 2 Leia holograms, which is the biggest reason I got the deluxe, because I wanted those Leia holograms for that moment from A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very surprised that they gave him so many attachments in a good way. I personally would never use these attachments apart from the rocket boosters.
I would hate to try and attach all of the attachments. And how long that would take.
It sucks. Trust me, I tried it on mine just to see what it looked like. I know Collecting Madness, you have the Sideshow R2. Is this one that you're going to be picking up even though you have the Sideshow R2, or do you think one is enough for you?
No, I'm going to be picking this up because I have a Return of the Jedi kind of vibe going on, so I want one to go with that. I'll keep one with that, and then, I'm keeping my Sideshow. I'm not selling it, but I'm picking this up so you can finally get off my back about having a Sideshow.
I've been roasting you for like the better part of a year about that.
I got a better shot. This is finally what you can do. Straight. Oh, it hits bangs off the trash can.
Oh my god.
That's what it should do. That thing is so rickety. That's the best way to describe it. Now, I will say
they sit in the display. That's what they like. You're not picking them up all the time, and he looks. I like the weather.
You shouldn't be picking your Hot Toys up all the time. I know we got a lot of guys who like to.
Well, I miss the Hot Toys R2, so.
I know. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. This is how I'm going to display my R2. This is what I was hoping for.
Yep.
This is when I saw those rocket boosters, I was like, they better give us a blue flame effect. And not only did they do that, they gave us this really cool base that we haven't seen with an R2 before. So that is exactly how I'm going to display mine because I have my A New Hope one. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. TK said he's going to put him with Yoda. Most people are going to want to put this in an original trilogy display if they don't have a huge like PT presence in their collection.
He's not going in my. I don't have any EOT ones. But
yeah, so if you don't have,
Sideshow's going to stay with.
He's going with my Mando Luke.
That's a good idea too. Mando Luke, he'll look great with Mando Luke. I'm personally going to put mine with C-3PO, the new one, obviously the Attack of the Clones one.
Yeah.
Just because I have my OT-R2 already, I don't need any more OT-R2 because I got the deluxe, and that's like to me still my definitive R2. But this one's going to look so good with C-3PO. And for those of you guys that haven't owned a Hot Toys R2, this one actually does have a die-cast dome. I don't know if you could see it too well in the pictures because pictures can be deceiving and it can sometimes look like paint. But this is a die-cast dome, which is really cool because, one, it not only helps with the weight, it just feels really cool when you pose the head. It just feels nice. Like if you've never owned a die-cast figure or any figure with die-cast components, you don't really understand it until you have it in hand and you can play with it and you realize like why people love die-cast so much. And I didn't really truly feel that until I got an Iron Man figure. I didn't really truly feel that because the engineering in Iron Man figures are insane.
I liked it, but also the Iron Patriot 2.0 told me how much you can hate having all the die-cast.
Yeah, he's massive. That's the thing. He's a bulky boy.
Let me tell you, I convinced Kevin because I saw the post. The reason he got his Tamashii Nations R2, I told him about it, told him everything it did. He picked him up. That thing weighs like a brick. I mean, that's you talking
Yeah.
about R2. He's like a solid
Yeah, I remember you
piece.
saying that in your review. It was like a super heavy figure, and it makes sense because that figure is like basically all die cast, whereas this one it's die cast components.
Yeah.
It looks like Harpo is talking crap about my rocket jets. So that makes me sad because that was the most exciting thing to me, apart from the C-3PO head.
Was cool, man.
And he did it in Revenge of the Sith too, burning the droid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was.
The jets.
And I almost thought that too. I'm like, what? They probably sell like a little like fake oil spill, like a little gag thing, and you could stick that in your display and have him hovering above it somehow, and that'd be hilarious if they release the super battle droids. You could recreate that scene where they get caught on fire. That'd be perfect.
This feels really weird, doesn't it? They're going so much in on Attack of the Clones.
Crazy. And Will and I were talking about that earlier when the stream first started. It's like, why did we only get like 6 or 7 releases for Empire Strikes Back 40th and for the 20th anniversary? Right, and some of them were, and 2 of them were Boba Fett's. Technically 3 of them were re-releases. 1 of them was just like a recolor.
And we still haven't gotten the Luke.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that. What were you going to say, Chris?
No, I was just going to say, I think it's because they barely had anything besides the Dooku and the Yoda. So, like, there was still a lot. You get a whole lot more already in Empire. Like, I do give credit. There was some reissues, but I don't know.
See, this is awesome. But yeah, I'm just happy to see that Hot Toys, at least with the Attack of the Clones line, they're not like skipping out on the obvious accessories that like us as a fan looking in would be like, you have to include that. Like, I think this time around, they were listening to us, right? So we got the battle droid head for C-3PO, we got the C-3PO head for the battle droid, and then we got the C-3PO head for R2. Someone the other day said the C-3PO head is the new Grogu, and it might be. Who knows what else they're going to throw it into?
I also hope this is magnetized.
I know that would probably be ideal, but here's my thing. What I was wondering to myself the other day when I was looking at this is, are they gonna take this head and make it plastic just to save on costs?
And you know what?
Or is the head that comes with, or is the head gonna be die cast or plastic with the die cast version? I would say no, but it's possible.
Now that I think about it, though, I think there's another pick of this. If you keep going, I think that string part or whatever is actually static. Like, it stands still. So it might just be leaning up against that head.
Kind of like the Django like grappling hook effects. That's how they are for him. And I think Mando has something like that, too. It's like a solid wire. So it's like showing the effect of them shooting it. That's a good point. I don't know if I... See, that looks so cool. Like that Photoshop there of them. Man. If only we had some crazy technology where he could, those like floating bases that they make for certain things. Imagine that with him like floating in the air. That'd be so cool. Yeah, so I do see what you're talking about. Because there's no way that they just pulled it taut enough to where it's that straight. So that's a really good point. I didn't notice that before. And isn't that an interesting joint on that C-3PO neck? Mm-hmm. I wonder how that works. I mean, I guess it just slots in like that.
It might be just for that joint, piece.
Yeah, I don't know, because it probably is the case, but I know the neck on the B1 droid when they use the C-3PO head, that looked a little weird too. Yeah, that's a good point. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, C was right there. Go back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's that makes it way more obvious. That's probably smart of them to do though, because one, you don't have to worry about like situating the cable to make it look nice. It's just kind of static there, and maybe there is a magnet on the tip of that. That's very possible. Let's see.
Hopefully not wear down over time.
Yeah, hopefully, or come unglued. That's probably what'll happen. That's what happens with all the Hot Toys magnets. Diecast Boba weighs as much as the 10-ounce silver bar of Beskar. I'm not sure what Boba you're talking about.
Yeah, I just love this because this one will be more solid. I can do whatever, and then I can finally use the drink trays for...
Yeah, for a Return of the Jedi display.
That is
going to be
really
the wire they use on stuff like the Batman. Exactly, TK. They reuse that wire, that type of wire a lot, and again, that's the detail that I'm surprised I didn't notice. I guess I just went through the pictures way too fast because I was so excited. But that was a good point from Chris. All right, let's see. Yeah,
I like it makes noise too.
Yeah, the deluxe one does the same thing. when I first bought it, we got to talk about this guy here.
One thing just before we go, I meant to mention with the Phase 1 Clone Trooper. Another thing
the Funko diecast. Okay.
Yeah. The alt head for that also makes that guy so you can put him with the Bad Batch.
Oh.
Because remember, in the first couple episodes of Bad Batch, they go back to being all white armor.
Right.
You know, Empire is their cleaning out all the.
That's a good point.
Jedi. So obviously, you may want more than just Hunter and Echo to want to invest in.
And we didn't even get my favorite Bad Batch member, which is Wrecker. I was really sad to see that. I mean, I wasn't surprised because he's going to need like a uniquely engineered body.
Just give us Crosshair, man. If they just give us Crosshair, I'll be happy.
I'm sure we'll get him eventually.
Someday over the rainbow.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually.
Right. Now, anyway, but we still haven't got. So this Miles has now come out, but they still have not put out
the Into the Spider-Verse
Miles,
yeah,
which is the one
that's the one that everyone wants.
To go with the Spider-Gwen.
Exactly. Which that figure has tanked in the secondary market so hard because there's no companion piece. Yeah, and there's no companion piece for it to make people want to like buy him up, you know. People are just waiting and waiting. Maybe when the Into the Spider-Verse Miles finally releases, people will just panic buy it, the Spider-Gwen. But yeah, this Miles turned out really cool. This isn't one that I'll personally buy just because it doesn't fit in my collection. But like, look at those like 6-scale roller skates. Those are so cool, or roller blades rather. Sorry. Look at the detail in those. Even like in the strap, you see the text on the strap, like in the coffee cup. Like, there's a lot of really cool small details on this figure, and I could see why a lot of people would pick it up. And then the hoodie, I don't know. I would assume that these gloves, and it looks like these gloves kind of stop here. So underneath of this is probably just like a thin little fat suit. I would hope at least, and then it's just the hoodie. Because if that's the case, obviously the upper body is going to be very posable, and you don't have to worry about deterioration over time of the suit.
Ooh, Marvel.
Yeah, ooh, Marvel. I said that I never said ooh, Marvel, but I wasn't buying Marvel figures, and as you know, lately I've been going crazy. Yeah, like look at that pose, man. That's such a nice figure. And the Spider Cat, come on now. That's so cool. That's such a and like the zombie Deadpool with the little zombie Deadpool squirrel.
That's another figure you can put that the Iron Man Mysterio illusion with. That
I'm going backwards. Deadpool. That's true. And if I haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, obviously, but if we see some sort of zombie character,
if they put out that stupid Marvel Zombies Captain America.
Oh yeah. This is a really cool pose. Look how he has the cat sitting on the shoulder. That's a really cool pose. Yeah. Hot Toys seems like they're definitely stepping it up with their posing game on these photos.
Yeah, they've been doing. They still make me sometimes wonder, do I want to try and put my figure in that pose?
Somebody said it wasn't Hot Toys. Like I saw on Facebook, somebody had said that.
Like a third-party person they contract for the photos. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably.
You're probably right. I think I've heard that before as well.
But it was for this because somebody else said the same thing you just did, was like that they're really stepping it up.
It's probably why it's so much better. They probably realized they needed to step it up to sell some more figures.
Yeah.
They're starting to slowly sit there forever.
Right. That's true. They're probably realizing a lot of stuff is sitting. I guess we don't, because this is the photo section, so we don't have the Doctor Strange teases, but I did want to show this post. It says, we are preparing for more collectibles from Star Wars Attack of the Clones to celebrate its 20th anniversary. Stay tuned on our next wave of thrills. So obviously everyone was super taken back by this because who expected to wake up to this morning? Because I didn't. What does that mean?
I was just laughing at the Mace Windu meme.
Oh yeah, yeah. The people in the Hot Toys comments never disappoint. They're all trolls.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say is this really took me back because it took me by surprise really because obviously after like the onslaught of all the Attack of the Clones stuff, I expected a little bit of a break, but no, they dropped the release for Miles, and then they hit us with this morning. And for me, the way I'm interpreting this, as I said earlier, is I think this means that we might get some either more teases or prototype photos before Star Wars Celebration. I don't know if this means that the stuff that they will show will be Star Wars Celebration exclusives, or if it means that there's going to be stuff for both Star Wars and Celebration that we'll see Sideshow revealed to us, because they made it seem like that on their website that they would be revealing the Celebration exclusives, or if this is just going to announce them. Right, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, are we going to get more from Hot Toys, and then we're going to have some Star Wars Celebration exclusives that may or may not be related to Attack of the Clones? Because we've already seen it on Sideshow's website. They said they were revealing them.
Yeah, I think so. I originally thought they were going to do more for Revenge of the Fifth, and then they posted this. I'm super happy about that. I hope they do announce more. And I think from last year, they didn't really do so much. So maybe they're making up for it, and with the pandemic and everything. So I don't know.
Right.
And they're so unpredictable. They could have had a lot of this stuff under the radar already doing, like, because there were no teases like you had mentioned about the trooper stuff. Like, that stuff kind of came out of left field. We were speculating a little bit of 3PO and an R2, but nothing like what we've gotten.
Yeah, I mean,
Solon pointing out, he says, "I'm glad he's having to take a break from the Mandalorian." He says, taking a break, taking a break, they like ran out of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you ever seen that image? I mean, the image where someone's marking every single possible character. That board is like almost filled up. But yeah, as someone who went all in on the Mando line, I'm glad to see something different, because it did get a little stale towards the end. I mean, so stale that they're releasing Axe Woves. Like, yeah, he's a cool character, but how many people were like, "Oh, please give me an Axe Woves figure," you know?
Without a facial sculpt.
Yeah, exactly. Which the other two, they have a facial sculpt, but this one doesn't. So for someone like me who likes doing the helmet in the hand poses with the sculpt, I'm gonna have to find a third-party sculpt if I end up getting him. I had a comment pulled up earlier. Oh, Eric. So Eric's predictions are Mace, Padme, Clone Commander, which is what we showed earlier, and Dex.
Oh, come on, guys. We know Dex. We know coming is going. The LucasArts, Kathleen Kennedy is going to make sure that so that we get trolled, there's going to be Representative Binks of the Senate. Will be like,
I would buy Binks though. I would.
Absolutely. We were talking about that earlier.
But it's not going to be Phantom Menace Goofy Jar Jar Binks. It's going to be him in frothy suit.
Yeah,
Representative Binks of the Senate.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't want. Or like the Jedi Binks from the Clone Wars.
That would be hilarious, actually. It's like that's the special edition version of it.
Yeah, exactly. The exclusive
accessory. Over the head.
That'd be so funny. But yeah, I could see Jar Jar happening, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because that's a completely unique mold. That's going to take a lot of R&D. So, and I don't see them using a slot for that.
I just want to see
the army of Gungans.
Exactly.
I just want to see Annie, Mace, Obi-Wan.
See that? Yeah.
Which I might hold until that show, but who knows?
See, here's the thing for me regarding the Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan and Anakin. Do I want them to do them? Absolutely. I mean, I have every other Obi-Wan and Anakin, so of course I would buy them easily. I'd buy them so fast. But the thing is like, are they going to release an Obi-Wan and Anakin when they're probably already working on an Obi-Wan and possibly an Anakin from a flashback for Kenobi? Because here's the thing: we're not going to get Darkseid Anakin, I don't think, for Kenobi. It's not going to happen. That's a very unique figure. I'm not saying it'll never get reissued. Maybe for like the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, we'll get it. But if anything, I think if there's any hope for an Anakin reissue, it's going to be for the light side Anakin, because it just makes so much more sense. To me, I could see them doing like a flashback where like with like the better times when Anakin and Obi were friends, you know what I mean? And that's where I could see them pulling a reissue from, as opposed to doing a Darkseid Revenge of the Sith figure that would make no sense for that show, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of iterations of Luke Skywalker. There's different versions of Vader. So I don't doubt that they would do Obi-Wan and Anakin and then also give in the show.
Yeah. But here, I will say this, though. Disney is going heavy on the marketing with Darth Vader, so we're absolutely, especially after we got that Black Series Vader helmet, we're absolutely going to get another Vader, and that'll be Vader number 4 for me because I have all the other ones. So I'll gladly pre-order that.
I just got Rogue One. That's the only one I have.
Well, here's the thing, like, they definitely took some hints from Rogue One on this new Vader. At least the helmet portion definitely has some Rogue One feel to it. So they would probably look really good together if you don't have a companion piece for the Rogue One Vader. Me personally, I have like my specialist. Technically, it's not a deluxe, but it has the Stormtrooper doll thanks to Ethan. He hooked me up with that as a gift. But I have my shelf is full as far as my Krennic and my Rogue One Vader. So I'll probably start a Kenobi shelf with this Vader, but that's an absolute pickup for me. If they I should say when they do a new Vader, that's like no brainer. That's probably one that I'll
Vader's money.
Oh yeah, and they have obviously a lot of established parts because they've made so many different versions, so it won't be difficult for them to make another one. Kumar's got a lot of money. Apparently, he's getting 2 C-3POs. See, that's the thing. Like, it's so tempting because I would love to have one for the battle droid head. I can justify 2 battle droids because of the price point, but I'm not going to spend $330 just to put a battle droid head on a second C-3PO. Know what I mean? But I don't blame you. There's no shame in your game. I don't blame you at all. Let's see. We're getting a light side of sorts from the Clone Wars line. That's true.
I think he was saying an additional 30 pre-orders by the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
I mean, but that's who people are going to do that. So what you said wasn't like.
I like how you just let me go off on that whole tangent about that, and you're like, yeah. By the way, you.
I was just kind of.
Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. But yeah, so.
No, but I was deep
scratch
in what
that, Kumar.
What you were saying wasn't alive.
You aren't that rich, Kumar. I take it back. But no, I see what you're saying now. With the amount of stuff coming out, I honestly think the best course of action, if you want to be smart about it, is don't pre-order stuff that's almost 2 years away. You know what I mean? Because they're going to keep pushing this stuff back. So don't go by that initial date because it's never going to be the same unless it's like a clone or something, which is a very easy thing to push out. Because some of those clones, they might get pushed out early. But for C-3PO, he's not coming on time, I promise you.
Well, here's another thing. Do you think, I got 2 things. If Mace is announced, will he sell out because of the hype? Like, they haven't done that in a while. They haven't sold out. And possibly the battle droid because of the price. And people want an army build.
So I will say this. You have to, if it's a celebration release, you have to be more careful. Because if I remember correctly, the celebration releases were not only a timed pre-order, but the release window was way shorter, kind of like they do for Toy Fair. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how they did it for Celebration as well. So I always advise don't play around with the Celebration and or Toy Fair exclusives because you never know what can happen. I mean, I unfortunately didn't get into Marvel until after the exclusive version of the Mark I diecast sold out, so I'm pretty angry about that because you literally get an extra diecast faceplate, and I'm missing out on it, and it's the exact same price as the standard. So with stuff like that, like it's definitely worth day one pre-ordering if you really, really want it, and you know you're going to be upset if you miss it, because in the past it has been limited. TK is, by the way, I just want to touch on a few of the comments. TK is saying he thinks we could see a dark side with no base. It's not impossible, but it just seems more logical to me to give us a light side Anakin because that's going to push sales of all of this Attack of the Clones stuff. Because everyone's going to think, oh, well, I could just pair it. Like, imagine if you had a light side Anakin. It was your first chance to get a light side Anakin and Mace Windu is coming out. Like, a lot of people are going to be like, I want that light side Anakin so I can pose it fighting Mace Windu and maybe make him like a custom stump with his arm cut off or his hand cut off. Who knows? But
I hope he comes with that. Like, you get 2 lightsabers maybe to where it could be his Revenge of the Sith look and
right, his 2 different sabers.
Like they did for Sideshow. And then the stump. Yeah.
I would hope so. I really would hope so, but being that this is like Attack of the Clones specific, it's probably going to be just the Attack of the Clones stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes with a decapitated Django helmet deal like the original Sideshow exclusive Mace Windu had, because that would be a really funny accessory. Eric, by the way, I totally agree with this. Like, I think if you're a Vader fan like I am, that's like what we want the most is a battle damage Vader. Some, like, if you've seen Rebels, especially like the scene with Ahsoka fighting Vader after they met after not seeing each other for a long time, and just seeing like it brings a bit of like a human characteristic to Vader that you don't normally think of because he looks like a machine. Because when you saw, you know how like impactful that was for me when you saw Anakin's face peeking through Vader's helmet. It's like a glimpse of hope that maybe Anakin's still in there. You know what I mean? So to see a battle damage version from this era would be really cool.
Ultimately, I think that's what did it in the end, is that there is that piece of Anakin that's always in there that the Emperor always tried to get rid of.
To suppress, right.
Yeah.
Hot Toys were never saw before they release an HK. Yeah, that they won't ever sell it before they release an HK, but like I said, like the Mark 1 is an example. The figure itself didn't sell out, but the exclusive sold out, and that does happen a lot with like the convention exclusive stuff. If it's like not a special edition and it's just a standard version, it's gonna last longer because obviously they have more of them. But Sideshow, when they have an exclusive, they always have a higher volume of the standard because that's probably where they get a majority of their pre-orders because people are trying to save a little money. Either for Kenobi or episode anniversary, we'll get some kind of dark side Anakin. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say that too.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's more of an inevitable release. I just don't personally see that being their first choice for an Anakin reissue. I just think the light side Anakin just has too much potential to go with way more displays. Let's see. I don't think I showed Wanda. So we're gonna touch on Wanda and Doctor Strange real quick, and then we'll probably get out of here because we're going on almost 2 hours. But let me see if I could pull up those little video teasers. Oh, here we go. Conveniently for me right here. I'm not gonna do that to you. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big Doctor Strange fan. He's actually my favorite Avenger. But I told myself, like, you know what? I don't need Doctor Strange's standard outfit from this movie. And then I saw these dragon magic effects, and it completely changed my mind because that, in my opinion, is probably one of the most impressive, like, resin effects that they've ever done. And obviously, there's some Photoshop there. They're not going to be, like, glowing orange like that. But just the fact that they did a unique sculpt of this, like, dragon snake-looking thing, I think is going to be really cool.
You think Hot Toys is going to do another Doctor Strange for this one, even though they just have the No Way Home on pre-order?
Yeah, I think we're going to get this one, and I think they know that a lot of people want that evil Doctor Strange. Yeah. So I think that's another one that we're going to have a big possibility of getting. I haven't seen the movie, or I should say, I'm not seeing the movie until Saturday, so who knows how sold I'll be.
You mean the Strange Supreme?
I call him Evil Strange because he's evil. But yeah, the Strange Supreme. So there's the Strange Supreme, and then there's that zombie-looking Doctor Strange.
You guys going to see it?
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday with some friends.
I'm going tomorrow night.
I'm probably going to see it on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm avoiding spoilers, like all the spoiler chats for Marvel and stuff. I'm avoiding those completely because if this movie gets spoiled for me, it's the end of my days for Marvel. I'll be so mad. I won't be able to get over it.
Well, Marvel,
yeah, this figure is super nice.
Didn't they try and give a spoiler like in the last trailer or something like that? Somebody told me, and I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Stop giving away so much. We don't need it. All you have to do is tell us that there's a multiverse concept and Doctor Strange and Wanda and all them are in it.
And you saw some weird, strange stuff, like a little bit that we have no idea what the hell is going on with that. And I'm like, I mean, the teaser thing they had way back with No Way Home, I saw that was like, I guess we still had a problem. I'm like, oh my God, I recognize that guy from the animated series. Okay, I'm going to go watch it. Like, that's oh, man, I'm getting kind of tired of the teases and stuff like that.
I know. They do too much. Railcar was saying there's going to be 2 post-credit scenes, so keep an eye out for that.
I did really like the ones with Shang-Chi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shang-Chi, man.
I know not a lot of people love the movie. Like, I think it's a middle of the road overall Marvel movie, but maybe because it's just since what we had since Endgame, like I just got into that movie and I like the character because that character. There are 3 characters I really liked in that movie. Wenwu, I really liked Shang-Chi's sister, who I forget what her name is in the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
And I loved and I liked Aquafina. I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I think they picked a great cast and everyone played their parts really well. I know you said you weren't like big on Shang-Chi. I was the opposite. Wenwu was definitely like the GOAT because that dude is like that dude was evil.
I love Shang-Chi.
For 1,000 years, that dude was kicking ass. So you got to give credit where credit's due. But I still like Shang-Chi as a character, and I think he's going to evolve into a lot more than what we saw in the movie.
He's the one who of all the Phase 4, and this is still early in the Phase 4 that we've seen so far. I think now I'll have to see with like what's her name, America Chavez, who's going to be in this movie, her character, and then maybe Miss Marvel
and Captain Carter. I'm interested to see how Captain Carter is like, because it's such a different type of character to play from what she was used to. So
I honestly do not want Captain Carter in the least little bit.
I'm not surprised they included it because it was in What If. But I'm also worried on how it's going to fit in, and you know what I mean. Like, how is she going to come in? How is it going to make sense for the MCU? I don't know. I'm
worried they're going to make her. Oh, she's way better than Steve Rogers ever was as Captain America.
Which they better not. Don't you dare.
I mean, I actually like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I thought Sam Wilson was.
Yeah,
as Captain
that's
America
a show that I was very surprised by.
Yeah, it was still not great, but I actually really got into it, and I almost was going to buy his figure because I like the costume. So
I'm going to because of this show. I wasn't going to. TK, this is a good point. I think I will say this: like in the Batman trailer, when they showed the scene in the subway when he beat the crap out of that dude,
the first one,
right? I was sad that they showed it after seeing it in the movie because I was like, wow, that's like one of the most amazing moments in this film. But think about how much hype that generated for Pattinson as Batman because they're like, wow, this is a different Batman that we normally see. Like, he beat the crap out of that dude. You know what I mean? So it's like...
where he's all like...
yeah, exactly. Like, and that scene was awesome. Seeing the scene in its entirety was definitely, like, still rewarding, even though we got to see most of it in the trailer. Railcar Boys is saying, the last episode of Loki is, like, the last 20 minutes... Yeah, so if you're seeing Doctor Strange and you haven't seen the Loki show yet, you definitely want to watch it because it adds a lot of context. What If is not... What If is what it sounds like. It's What If. It's not canon. But I also think watching What If will help you understand a bit of the concept of the multiverse. So if you have the time to watch it, if you're not going to see this movie tomorrow...
Said it's canon because the Guardians of the Multiverse are canon.
So is it like... Oh, so I must have misread. I thought that none of it was canon. So is it like bits and pieces are canon or all of it's canon?
Well, if Captain Carter shows up, it's going to be that Captain Carter from the Guardians of the Multiverse.
Which I thought. So basically...
I think they're going to pick and choose whatever the
hell exactly, like a case-by-case thing. We're like, okay, this is Captain Carter. She's canon now. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes more sense than what I was saying.
It's like the EU stuff that gets picked is now...
Right, they do the same thing. Like, now they're slowly thinking about Revan. Mm-hmm.
And they brought Thrawn in and
from the books,
like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to necessarily be exactly the same. They're going to be like 85% of the same because that's easy. Because it's easy to do that, but change it enough so it's slightly more different so we don't have to pay people who created them.
Exactly.
All right, anyway, so going back to this.
So we were talking about her a bit earlier, but here's the Wanda that got teased. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm very worried about the hair because it kind of looks like a wig. Now I don't know what it's going to look like.
It looks sculpted to me.
No, it is sculpted, but I'm saying like the way that the hair lays, it looks like a wig.
Oh, okay.
It looks to me more like something I should see on a Medusa figure.
Exactly,
it's not the final. Yeah,
I know. We haven't seen the face already. Now, the face shouldn't be that hard because, like, literally, we've seen the one for the WandaVision one.
Yeah, they'll probably just steal that
crap,
and/or like. Oh, it looks great. It looks so.
I don't have
good.
a Scarlet yet, so I'll be very tempted for
Me
this.
either. And the reason I don't have a Scarlet is because I saw the WandaVision one. I'm like, holy crap, that figure is nice. Like, that figure is really nice. The tailoring, the sculpt, everything is just really clean. And I just feel like this one, there's just... And again, I'll have to see the full figure before I make my determination, but I just feel like the Wanda from WandaVision just looks more complete to me. You know what I mean? It looks like a more complete look. And that sculpt is just so good. It's going to be hard to top unless they just completely reuse it and change the hair, which they're
Gee, did Hot Toys ever do that? I never would have heard that one before.
Is that WandaVision?
Never do that with Luke?
I haven't even paid attention I've had my eyes on other things. Is that WandaVision even out, or is that still a pre-order?
No, it's still a pre-order.
It's still on
that was
pre-order.
my thing when I was talking about earlier.
Oh,
I thought it
okay.
really weird
I
they
might
were
have
putting.
to.
Now she might be still that might get announced, and then this, she might get released suddenly, and we were like, oh, and then they put this out for pre-order like the day after.
Either way, I need one, so if I miss, I miss. And then there's this one, so I won't be mad.
Also, too, with the WandaVision one, you have more of a drape in the lower body because she's got that cape. So I think that drape kind of makes her, like I said, it's just more of a complete look. And I do like the separation in the arms, if you will, where it's like the hands and it goes up to like the middle of the arm. I just think that looks like it's just more of a broken up look. You know what I mean? Let's see. Eric's saying, "What if is technically canon?" After watching DS2, I like that look the most. Again, my mind might completely be changed when I see it. I'm just basically going off of this photo, which is obviously very little that what we're seeing here. So just based on what I'm seeing right now, I'm like, I kind of like the WandaVision look more. And also, I'm getting the WandaVision like normal vision, so like those would be cool to pair together. But my mind might be changed. It happens.
I was gonna say I'm probably gonna have to see the film to see if this is the one.
Yeah.
Right, because once we see the film, we'll have an idea.
And this could be a variant of Wanda, the actual Wanda or something. We don't know.
And exactly. That was the other thing I'm worried about, because in my head, if it's like she's an evil variant or something, I'd be like, I want the Wanda, or I want the WandaVision one, because that's the real Wanda.
Oh, well, then what if they don't her eyes like glow too? What if they did that like they do like the Sith eyes or something like they did?
Or like Endgame Thor. Endgame Thor had the actual like light up eyes. That would be super cool. But yeah,
dude, man, we're just trying to sell ourselves more figures already, even before they have been conceived by Hot Toys. Now they're like 1 little, 2 little, 3 little, 100, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little.
Basically, I'm just adding to my wish list every time a new one pops up. I'm just wish list, because I'm not day one pre-ordering most stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But all right, I think we're gonna call it now. It's been almost 2 hours.
Most stuff. You got 30 pre-orders.
Any closing thoughts?
Well, I was waiting here to the end because I was trying to run a collection idea past you guys.
Sure, go for it. We can close out with that.
Yeah. So here's what I am doing right now. In the chat, I would like any feedback you guys have too. So right now, I was originally doing a Spider-Man, which is why I was getting 20/20 miles until I got convinced that would be a bad idea because the eyes aren't going to light up unless they're plugged in or something.
Yeah.
So I've converted it to one because that's why I currently own Mysterio. It's why I had Classic Suit Spider-Man. I was getting Mysterio, Iron Man Illusion, and getting. So I'm switching it now to a multiverse setup. I talked to Bob Dylan extensively about this too. So I'm keeping the Mysterio Iron Man. I'm also keeping the Classic Suit because they fit as part of the multiversal thing. And it's also partially why I'm getting Wenwu. I think I'm getting Wenwu. I pre-ordered him because I could, but he's not 100% set yet. Now for the kind of the alternate thing I'm getting is I'm getting the WandaVision because it fits into kind of the multiverse thing where we're having I'm trying to now narrow down which should be my last hero and villain that I'm going to pair up. And they don't necessarily need to be in the same movie together. Like the headcanon, the Mysterio Iron Man is going to be set against the Wanda because for this multiversal thing, this kind of Iron Man monstrosity is in the headcanon for this setup is supposed to be like a Tony Stark that was an evil Tony Stark who went crazy and basically was dying because of his use of his arc reactor and his Iron Man suit. So he used the technology along with Quentin Beck developed to create kind of that illusion form for him. Mm-hmm. But he then killed Beck and enhanced it. So it's like he's an artificial version of himself, but he can actually use his powers and stuff. So it's almost like he can kill you and stuff like if he was real. Like he actually is like an Iron Man thing. He can become solid and punch you in the face. But he's a totally demented. He's combined magic created from Wanda's powers along with the technology to create the monstrosity that he is from his timeline.
Kind of like the Ultron from What If.
Yeah, but he's now magically enhanced with it, and so he's not that level of power, but he can go against her.
Right.
Like that. So this is canon stuff,
which we need.
Yeah. Well, someone said, "Gee, you put a lot more effort making that sound interesting than half the writers that Marvel probably does when making this stuff."
Yeah, I don't think they think that much into it.
Yeah, but so now I need to get 2 characters to put with it would be part of like kind of my fun. Now I'm not going to get this finished till sometime in 2023. It's going to be 6 figures altogether. So I've got the Wanda, I've got the Mysterio, I've got the Classic 2 Spider-Man. What I was thinking of doing is I'm probably thinking I'm going to get Wenwu because I've got him pre-order because I love him as a villain, and I'm thinking about getting. Probably going to end up. Originally, I was thinking I would get the Taskmaster because I love the freaking Taskmaster costume from Black Widow, even though I hate actually what Taskmaster was.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is
such a bad character.
This is Taskmaster MCU, but this is the alternate timeline one that is actually the comic book Taskmaster in the movie look. Like it's a dude who is that character. And then I was going to put him against 2012 Captain America. Like that's what I originally think I was doing from the Endgame line. Like I thought that would be really cool because it's guys from different timelines coming together. But I got convinced that I think I'm going to get Shang-Chi and Wenwu. But how they both can be wielding the rings at the same time is that this is not it's not the Wenwu we see from the movie. This is a Wenwu who never met Shang-Chi's mother, so he's still completely corrupted and evil Mandarin. Like for 1,000 years or however long by the time this would be, he's completely evil, and he's working with both these other guys, Mysterio, who's from another timeline, and also more this Tony Stark. He's using the power of the rings to help enhance and study their power, and Tony Stark is being used to enhance his life cycle and stuff as a weird half alive, half dead entity. Yes, everybody. I only took about 10 minutes to think.
I was about to say you thought that through. I mean, I think it's a cool idea. I'm all for someone creating a unique idea in their display because a lot of us obviously fall into the trap of like, oh, I like how his display looks.
I'm going to put the clones against the droids, and
I think it's a cool idea. I just wanted to say real quick. I want to say what up to Boston Collectors. Yeah. That's my boy. If you guys haven't checked out Boston's channel, for anyone who's still here. I know a lot of people probably left after Lane went on his rant.
Channel.
But
Gee, thanks. I put everybody to sleep as local Lou, which
I enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing it with us. But everyone check out Boston Collector's channel if you haven't already. He does some really cool reviews. He does sneak peeks when new stuff is announced, and he shares his thoughts and stuff on it. And everyone seems to think he has a really relaxing voice. So if you're into that kind of thing, check out his channel. And I think
put to sleep. Okay, gotcha.
You probably could, but I think we'll definitely have Boston on here sometimes when he has the time. I've been bugging him ever since I had the idea of starting the channel, so we're going to make him join us. I'll make Lane. Lane will be our enforcer.
He will join us or die. No.
Yeah, exactly. He has no choice. Hold on, let me check this. Let's see. Apparently my Discord notifications have been going off the entire stream. Well, now we know. Now we know. Next stream, I'll close my Discord out. Look, it's my first stream. I think considering it's my first stream that I've done.
You did a good job.
It was relatively together. Now I know not to play anything with sounds because it's way too loud, and to turn my Discord off. I blame the people that have been messaging me the whole time because they're all sitting here like talking crap to me. But anyways,
you're not lighting up your room enough, so we can't see all the figure behind you, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of stuff they're throwing at me. Exactly, we live and learn. So next stream will be better. As we get more people in here, we'll have more engagement in the chat. I appreciate everybody coming out. A lot of you stayed here basically the whole 2 hours, which I really appreciate. I appreciate Lane coming on. Everybody knows Lane. He's basically on every stream that he can. It's good to have him. And then Collecting Madness. Chris, he actually just started a channel not long ago, and he's actually got, I think, 3 videos up now.
Yep, I got a collection tour and an unboxing, and then I just did a little top 4 favorite figures to celebrate May 4th.
Yeah, so some really good videos. I've watched them myself. He did a great job. I think a lot of people struggle with collection videos because they can kind of get stale and kind of get lost in their head while they're going through their collection. But I think he did a good job staying on topic.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, dude.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot to cover, especially with the amount of figures you guys have.
Literally, I would say like, "Oh, Kev, it's easy," and he would stumble. But then as soon as that camera dings and you're rolling, it's like you just
you freeze.
Yeah.
It's like the same with streaming. It's nerve-wracking the first time, but once you get over it, you're good.
My problem would be it would take me.
Appreciate that, Boston.
My problem.
Thank you, Boston. Appreciate it, man.
Problem. My collection video would last 10 seconds because I go, here it is. And
right. Bam. The rest I sold all of it.
No, because I literally only own 20 Hot Toys figures right now.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't sell anything. That's why I'm in the predicament that I'm in, where I have to upgrade my displays for all the stuff I'm pre-ordering. But I'll put Collecting Madness's channel in the description. So if you didn't catch the stream and you're watching the replay, you guys will be able to be directly linked to his channel. Definitely subscribe. If you're here, drop a like on the stream if you don't mind. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and join the Facebook group because I'll be notifying you guys whenever new stuff comes out. I try to stay on top of that. And also, whenever we go live, I'll be posting it in there as well. So you guys have a great night. Thank you again, Lane and Collecting Madness, for being on stream. And hopefully you'll be on with us next time.
And
you too. Thank you, man.
Have a good night, everybody.
As Zenobia said, the storm has just started.
Exactly. Take care, guys.